Ein weiterer wird und diesmal mit einer Reaction-Time, wo wir vieles reagiert haben. Wir haben auf die Lore von Hollow Knight reagiert, wir haben den neuen Genshin-Trailer geschaut, den Season 3-Trailer von JUJUTSU KAISEN, wir haben auch noch die neue Amazing Digital Circus-Folge geschaut und wirklich so, also wir haben sehr viel geschaut heute in dem Stream und ja, ich wünsche euch dann viel Spaß dabei. Vergesst nicht, abgesehen von Mittwoch und Sonntag für sonst jeden Tag gestreamt und ja, dann genießt das. Willkommen zu einem neuen Stream. Heute etwas chilliger, kein Pantheon 5, weil es hinter uns ist. Und wir heute ganz sanft auf die Lore von Hollow Knight reagieren. Ein Tag vor Dings eben, bevor Silksong rauskommt, damit wir da ein bisschen nicht an Point sind, aber halt ein bisschen wissen, was los ist. Weil ich habe wirklich nicht viel Ahnung von der Hollow Knight Lore. Ich weiß ein bisschen etwas durch... Was fatal ist, ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher. Also auf jeden Fall jemand im Chat, das weiß ich. Ich glaube, es ist fatal, es könnte auch jemand anderes gewesen sein im Chat. Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Auf jeden Fall, jemand hat ja im Chat erklärt, wie der Hollow Knight unser Bruder ist, dass Hollow Knight unsere Stiefschwester ist und dass eben der König ja der Vater ist von eben dem Hollow Knight und uns eben, dem Protagonisten und alles. So, das heißt, das war schon ein bisschen. Aber nicht nur Hollow Knight, wir haben die Ausnahme der Ausnahme bei Reaction Time für diese Woche, weil für eine Woche, wo komplett gefüllt ist mit Hollow Knight, haben wir aber auch andere Sachen wie die Amazing Digital Circus, haben wir die neueste Episode da, die schaue ich mir eigentlich mal an. Wir schauen auf den JUJUTSU KAISEN Season 3 Trailer, den habe ich aufgespart, der war eigentlich nicht geplant, aber der ist einfach spontan jetzt gedroppt und ich denke mir, ich schaue das mir gerne an. Ich habe sehr hohe Erwartungen, ich bin sehr gespannt, was da schon gezeigt wird. Vielleicht schon ein paar Teaser auf, wo es vielleicht auf der Season enden könnte. Ich kann mir vorstellen schon wo, weil, Fun Fact, ich habe den Manga gelesen. Liegt auch, also wenn man da hinten schaut, hier die zweite Reihe oben, also der zweite links, eben halt diese Kastenhalter, wie man es nennen will, den man auch gerade noch so sieht, so fast im Bild. Halt ganz links, da liegt JUJUTSU KAISEN eben. Also, ey, neue My Stuff. Ich weiß noch, wie ich immer darauf gewartet habe, wenn die neuen Chapters gedroppt sind. Ah, das war eine Zeit, ey. Das ist eine wilde Zeit und alles so. Ich glaube, ich werde actually sogar jetzt, abgesehen, glaube ich, von so kleineren Sachen wie die Merch-Sachen von Glitch, die wir wahrscheinlich auch noch abchecken werden oder so, werde ich aber wahrscheinlich für den Trailer von JUJUTSU KAISEN, so wie auch die neue Serie von Glitch, den Trailer bekam und auch jetzt am 19. September, glaube ich, die erste Episode sogar, also der Pilot rausbringt, ein YouTube-Video rausmachen. Apropos Scheiße, ich habe gestern gemerkt, wo ich hier alles vorbereitet habe, bis ich geschaut habe, okay, was soll ich noch mal heute anschauen, habe ich gemerkt, fuck, ich habe komplett, aber wirklich, komplett vergessen, aus dem letzten Reaction-Stream Videos zu schneiden. Ich habe von dem Snapcube-Dings noch gar nichts geschnitten. Fuck. Das Witzige ist, die Datei liegt bereits in meinen Ordner, da wo es hingehört. Ich habe es irgendwie die ganze Zeit versemmelt. Komplett meine Schuld. Also wenn ihr mir jemanden schießen wollt, dann mich. Und ja. Dann würde ich sagen, plappern wir auch nicht so viel rum. Und beginnen dann damit. So, Screen Capture möchte ich nicht in Spielen. Nein, ich will actually das hier capturen, voilà. Weil actually, wir fangen mit einer kleinen Überraschung an. Ich hab's geschafft. Ich hab Pantheon 5 abgeschlossen, actually. Ich hab's legit, ohne mit euch zu fucken, den ersten Versuch nach dem Stream geschafft. Und es war pure Cinema. So, das hier kann ich einfach jetzt ausmachen. Also, ich glaube, wir können einfach auch zu der Absolute Radiance hinten springen. Also, das hier ist jetzt Stream Only, das sieht Kai auf YouTube, die könnt mich mal an. So. Es ist insane. Einfach der erste fucking Versuch nach dem Stream. Okay, Sound geht. Ich glaube, ich mache ein bisschen lauter, aber. So. Die Qualität ist komplett ass, sehe ich gerade. So. Oh ja. Das war der Versuch der Versuche eben. Aber es ist halt auch wirklich so instant der Versuch nach dem Stream war einfach. Das ist so irgendwie so bitter irgendwie. Aber egal. Ich habe es geschafft, das was zählt. Ihr werdet auch hören, nachdem ich mich entmutet habe, dann am Ende. Ich war ein bisschen froh. Mein Mikro hat mich dafür gehasst, aber ihr werdet auch sehen, warum. Ja, das war ein Stream, ey. So. Also mit Abyss-Streak habe ich sehr schnell es hinbekommen, für es auf die nächste Phase zu bringen hier. Und ihr seht, ich habe es auch geschafft, actually, mit Vollleben zu der zweiten Phase zu kommen. Dieser Inselplot-Dings. Die habe ich auch ziemlich gut jetzt inzwischen. Ja, da hatte ich Glück einfach. Ich wusste auch, ich hatte extremst viel Glück, dass er manchmal, also sie, was sagt, Attacken wie zum Beispiel die Lichtstrahlen gemacht hat, weil ich kann die am besten. Boah, außertechnisch wird so elendig abgefangen. Das ist eklig as fuck. Und ich weiß nicht, ob es bei diesem Versuch war, aber ich weiß, ich hatte bei irgendeinem Radiance-Versuch hatte ich so einen gottlosen Save. Ich weiß nicht mehr, wo der ist. Was ich denn überhaupt habe. Ja, da ist manchmal sehr squeaky viel, da nicht getroffen zu werden. So. Ja, die Bälle hatte ich größtenteils eigentlich raus. Immer so im letzten Moment sich auf die Seite stellen, dann knallt es gegen. So, das ist gut, weil dann zack. Und jetzt ist sie in ihrer finalen Form. Aber das ist in meiner eigenen Form. Halt die Schnauze. So, ich hatte diesmal Glück, die hat mich nicht direkt getargetet mit den Lasern. Weil das ist ja meistens das Problem, weil wenn diese Phase bei mir gestartet wird, ich wurde instant immer getroffen, weil ich mich gerade noch probiert habe hochzuheilen. Und das war halt wirklich später. Ich glaube, ich habe mich unterwegs einmal Flash treffen gelassen jetzt diesmal. Also ich habe definitiv beigelernt, was das angeht. Ich habe mich sogar gar nicht treffen gelassen, nice. Und hier habe ich halt den Trick gelernt, einfach Dings abwarten bis spawnt und dann so rüber. Ja, am besten Fall natürlich runterfallen, ne, ist empfehlenswert, just saying. Und halt richtig dashen, sonst kassiert man auf die Fresse. Aber das hat nach einer Zeit wirklich gut funktioniert. Und dann immer ein paar Hiebe, also wirklich sehr viel auf Geduld gespielt. Und dann, wenn er mal getroffen wurde, habe ich Dings den Abyss-Spiel reingehauen. So, zack, und sogar noch kein Hit. Und da haben wir es. Und jetzt, Achtung, hello the bitch. Jetzt hört man eine frohe Schatte. Ich hab's. Du blöder Mein Mikrofon hat mich so gehasst. Friss alles, du. Warte, ich hab das Shirt gerade an die Wand gehangen. Warte jetzt nur noch auf deren Antwort. Nice. Blöde bitch. Es gibt's doch nicht! Alter, das war jetzt der erste Versuch nach dem fucking Stream! So laut! Reaction Time hat morgen mehr Material, I guess. Let's go! Alter, ich hab so gezittert am Ende. Ich hab leider keine Facecam gerade an hier. Aber Alter! Fuck you! P5 offiziell ohne Cheats besiegt! Zweimal mit Cheats gemacht, damit wir für Ending 4 und 5 bekommen. Und beim dritten Mal für Ending 5 noch einmal, I guess, haben wir es geschafft. Alle guten Dinge sind 3, I guess. Holy shit! Und Lurk P5. Hab's probiert. I guess, Zahlen gehen nicht wahrscheinlich. Ja. Zack. Ich bin bereit für Silksong. Oh, fuck me, Alter. Holy shit. Boah. Das wäre geschafft. Ja, und dann eben halt und das usual Ending. Es geht wieder los. Da sind wir in unserer Void-Form. Dun, dun, dun. Ach du Scheiße. 5. Schade, wahrscheinlich das Ü hat dich da verraten. Vielen Dank an Team Cherry für das geile Spiel. Der letzte Bosskampf ist wirklich, mach du. Vielen Dank für die Lurk, Nick. Es ist nicht komplett RNG, definitiv nicht. Aber es hängt wirklich manchmal ab, von was für Attacken du bekommst, wirklich. Also, es ist wirklich manchmal gottlos, was für Kombis sich da erstellen. Mhm. Aber an sich eine geile Idee. Aber wie gesagt, ich glaube, der Checkpoint am Ende wäre wirklich sehr schön gewesen. Ja. Darauf beruhe ich noch.
Durch. Weil 40 Minuten immer ein bisschen hinzuspielen, das ist wirklich nervig. Aber nie wieder.
Ich habe so viel Zeit investiert.
Ich mache es freiwillig und wenn ich das mache, Leute, checkt mich bitte direkt ein. So, Chat-Ex out. Ich kann nicht mehr. Boah.
Und da endet es eben. Also, wirklich, wenn ich irgendwann das mache, denke ich noch einmal, dann erschießt mich bitte, weil dann ist hier selbst was schief gelaufen, definitiv. Aber ja, das war auf jeden Fall P5. Und jetzt geht's zu den Main-Sachen. Also, da muss ich jetzt mich vorbereiten, wieder für ein Intro zu machen auf professionell. Also, das erste, auf was wir reagieren, wäre dann die komplette Timeline von Hollow Knight, Story und Lore. Ist ein 1,5 Stunden langes Video, das heißt, das wird schon ziemlich lang, zumal weil ich auf Pause drücke, wie man weiß. Ja, das wird was. Also, ich mach schon bereit. Pausier doch, du Schnecht. Schnecht, oh je. So, ein bisschen lauter dann stellen alles so. Und dann machen wir uns bereit fürs Intro. Hey, Hallo YouTube und willkommen zu einer weiteren Reaction Time. Diesmal hoffentlich nicht zu viel zu spät editiert. Ups. Aber ne, heute sind wir versammelt für Dings auf die Hollow Knight Lore zu reagieren, weil jetzt Silksong rauskommt. Stream ist halt jetzt ein Tag vor Silksong. Das heißt, wir müssen uns die Lore mal antun, damit ich überhaupt etwas checke, weil sonst bin ich einfach lost. Und ich würde sagen, wir verlieren nicht viel Zeit und springen dann rein hier in die Hollow Knight Timeline. Complete Hollow Knight Story and Lore von Skywin ist ein Jahr alt. Es gab schon ein anderes Hollow Knight Video, was, denke ich, auch die Lore aufgreift und alles so. Und auch schon sehr viel Aufmerksamkeit bekam währenddessen. Aber ich habe mal dieses hier genommen, weil es halt aktueller ist. Und ich könnte mir vorstellen, dass vielleicht durch Merch-Drops oder irgendwas Hinweisen von Team Cherry vielleicht ein paar Sachen neu aufgedeckt wurden irgendwie. Und ja, es ist ein 1,5 Stunden Video, so holt euch Popcorn oder irgendetwas, so das hier wird lange. Let's go! Und ich habe die falsche Taste geklickt, leck mich. You shall see the blinding light that plagues the dreams. Ah ja, by the way, ist Englisch, also viel Spaß, die Leute. Warum habe ich keinen Sound? Ist der Tab der Tab ist gemutet. Okay, ich wollte gerade sagen, warum habe ich keinen Sound? Warte. Professioneller Streamer, let's go. Also Playbacks, Dings, Subtitles machen wir mal an. Hier, United Kingdom, let's go. Schon besser. Also, du sollst blinding, okay.
In the wilds across a vast wasteland lay a region that would one day become home to the grand kingdom of Hallownest.
Geil.
A tragic tale of light and darkness.
So wie die Dunkelheit waren, wie das
Many ages before, deep underground, into the very bedrock of the tunnels was a civilization. The bugs here devoted their worship not to a lord, power, or king,
Void,
but
maybe?
to the very darkness itself, the Void.
Ich habe es einfach wegen halt dem Gameplay, was ich kenne aus dem Spiel, halt jetzt einfach so in den Ring geworfen, aber war actually sogar white. Let's go.
Even now, not a lot is known about this ancient civilization deep down in the abyss of the Void. What we do know is that these bugs were intelligent and expanded their reach into the tunnels and open caverns above.
Okay.
They discovered that soul animated and gave their bodies life, a powerful force that flowed through the very air itself. To contain and manipulate this substance, these ancient bugs constructed soul totems.
Oh, das heißt, die Dinger haben die ganze Zeit den Arsch retten. Manchmal haben actually mit dieser antiken Zivilisation zu tun. Vielen Dank, antike Zivilisation. Die haben auch meinen Arsch gerettet. Zumal es in Path of Pain, wie man sich vorstellen kann. Ja.
Across the lands, their civilization created weapons through nailsmiths. Their scholars recorded their history on arcane eggs.
Ich würde gerade sagen, Arcane's Egg, ne?
Some were believed to have weaponized the very void itself.
The Shadow
Their
Dash.
constructions were magnificent. It was as if the rock itself possessed a will and adapted to the desire of the bugs that inhabited this
Okay,
region.
krass.
Despite how grand this civilization became, one day it simply came to an end.
Und wie?
Looking back, it is unknown what happened to this ancient civilization, but in their fall, artifacts of their triumphs became a part of the land. The bodies of the largest inhabitants decayed and showed those who traveled through that a civilization once existed here. Deep down in the abyss, the void simply existed in a sea of darkness. And when there is darkness,
There's
there
light.
is also light to counter it.
Wahrscheinlich die absolute Radiance, weil die wird ja so absolutes Licht hingestellt. Wahrscheinlich diese Dings, dieser, Tribe halt auf Englisch, jetzt mal das Wort, jetzt aus meinem Fall, ich fällt es gerade nicht am Deutschen ein, von Dings, von der Seherin, die wir für die Traumnadel hatten. Die hat ja von so ihrem Stamm und so geredet.
This greater world was large and home to many bugs with simple thoughts. There were, however, higher beings of great power. One of these was the Radiance. This giant moth was one of the most powerful creatures, and she shone brightly. As a being of light, the Radiance became an instant enemy to the Void. As a
I mean, das sieht man in den Endings, also wenn wir Radiance besiegen, entweder in dem normalen Story-Ending oder halt nach P5, wir zerfetzen die ordentlich als in unserer Void-Form. Also ja, dass die zwei gegeneinander stehen, ist sicher.
higher being, the Radiance had natural incredible abilities.
Ja, definitiv.
On the land of this fallen civilization, the Radiance brought into existence a new intelligent species.
Okay.
Having been created by a higher being, the Moth tribe worshipped the Radiance and her light. They basked in it. The Radiance was a beacon of light. Alongside her ability to create life and light, she also taught the Moth how to interact with, influence, and manipulate Essence.
Okay.
Essence powered dreams, and in turn, the entirety of the Dream Realm.
Oh
A
boy.
realm separated from the physical world by a veil. Now, the expanse of dreams once consisted of dreams and nightmares. However, at one point in time, these realms were split.
Okay.
Under the guidance of the Radiance, the Moth tribe discovered the countless realms of dreams. Each one was formed from the memories of the living and the dead. And in
Ja, das sehen wir ja. Man sieht zum Beispiel die lebenden Träume, wie zum Beispiel bei Dawn Defender. Man kann hier mit den Traumnadel schlagen und dann sieht man den alten Ruhm von ihm am besten, wie in seiner ursprünglichen Form war, wo er dem Königreich gedient hat und alles so. Hingegen hat man aber auch, denkst die Überreste von dem Seelenmeister halt, in seinem, wo man im Syl-Tyrann-Kampf ist eben, wo er halt tot ist, also das mit dem Leben und Tod, das sieht man definitiv halt auch im Gameplay integriert. Aber was mich interessiert, ist diese Splittung von normalen Träumen und Albträumen.
entire realm could be formed from thought and will alone. From the bugs, plants, and gods of the land, the dream realms were home to almost anything that the imagination could form, all powered by essence that floated like dust in these powerful realms.
Und genau diese Traumwelten irgendwann haben ja auch als Sieger gewirkt mit den 3 Masken, die dann eben den Hollow Knight innegehalten haben. Und halt, ich sehe gerade, dass wir erst 4 Minuten drin sind. Das wird ein langer Stream, aber ich freue mich drauf, weil dann wissen wir wenigstens ein bisschen, mit was für einer Welt wir es zu tun haben, mehr genau jetzt für morgen.
As for the Nightmare realm,
Ja.
it was also powered by a sort of essence, flame.
Flame.
These realms were similar, but
Okay, ich wollte gerade sagen, vom Design her sah es aus wie das von von Grimms Truppe.
darker in nature to the dream realm. Controlled by the Nightmare Heart, another higher being, troops were sent out to ruined lands to collect Nightmare Essence flames to fuel the Nightmare Heart. In their devotion and worship of the Radiance, the Moth tribe explored essence, soul, and dreams. In this exploration, they created the Dream Nail.
Oh ja, das
This
ist...
powerful nail was incredible. The moths pierced the veil between the waking and the dream worlds. They extracted soul and essence from living creatures. They used the dream world to essentially teleport across vast distances with dream gates.
Die verdammt praktisch sind. Und ich vielleicht echt Leute benutzen hätte sollen und nicht einfach so im Endgame erst realisieren, dass ich das Ding habe, also benutzen kann. Vollidiotin, check. Alter, das war wirklich so ein Griff ins Klo bei mir. Aber ja, das... Aber interessant, viel von den Sachen, die mit der Lore zu tun haben, sind auch stark ins Gameplay integriert. Es ist nicht irgendwie so out of nowhere. Das ist geil.
And they even entered the minds of the bugs around them to discover their darkest secrets. Yet, some minds were too powerful to penetrate.
Absolute Radiance oder ist das die
These
Königin?
dreamwalkers have been crafted with a light brighter than essence, and under the Radiance's lead, they learned how to shape dreams. The light also kept the void at bay. The Radiance had used her light to create life. She had offered them knowledge of and access to the dream realms. All she wanted in return was their worship. And yet, the Radiance was not the only higher being that had come to this land.
Okay, wer denn noch? Bin ich ganz...
To the west, the giant slug
Oh.
dreamt of a world of luscious leaves, luxurious bushes, swirling vines, lakes of acid, and green children to walk amongst the forests. As a higher being of light, her dream transformed the barren, rocky caverns of this bleak land into lush chambers full of vegetation and lakes.
Voll mit fucking Spikes, die manchmal abfucken ohne Ende. Aber ne, eigentlich vom Design her mag ich Green Path sehr, sehr.
From her dream also walked the Moskin into the physical world, the green children of These once empty caverns, chambers, tunnels, and basins became home to the life, soul, and essence of Green Path. Within, the green children of just like the moth tribe of the Radiance, worshipped their god and erected temples to honor and worship her. One of which was constructed at the Lake of a site that the higher being communed with her children. Each plant and bug, no matter how big or small, was important to the Moskin, for they had been created within the mind of Because of this, the Moskin tribe were very territorial and protective of Green Path and those who sought to explore it.
Das erklärt, warum wir oft auf die Fresse bekommen, wenn wir hingehen.
To the southeast of Green Path lay the fungal wastes. It was in the southern part of this region that the Mantis tribe formed a village. The Mantis did not appear to worship any higher being and were completely self-sufficient. Led by their Mantis lords, the youngest of this tribe were encouraged to kill to prove their strength, to claim their place in the tribe.
Survival of the fittest.
The Mantis valued honor and tradition. They did not like outsiders, but did at least respect one if they engaged in an honorable fight.
So wie wir. Deswegen, jedes Mal, nachdem wir dann sie, wenn man ja an sie vorbeigeht, nachdem man sie besiegt hat, verbeugen sie sich immer. Ich finde das so cool, das ist so ein schönes Detail irgendwie.
If their challenger died, they died. However, if they lived, they were offered freedom to explore the village.
So wie wir. Weil es ist ein komplett anderer, Willkommensgruß eigentlich, wenn du ins Mantisdorf gehst, nachdem du die Metzlots besiegt hast. Du wirst wirklich willkommen, teilweise. Doch, ich glaube, das ist sogar dieser Raum jetzt, wo ich gerade ansprechen wollte, bei Mark of Pride, bekommt man erst, nachdem man die Metzlot besiegt hat und den Respekt anerlangt hat und kann dann in die verschiedensten Räume überhaupt erst rein, so auf ein paar Stellen.
Mantis' ability to defend themselves did come in useful to the west of their village.
Oh Gott, nicht Tiefnest. Ja, das ist, glaube ich, mein Hassgebiet. Ich mag Tiefnest nicht.
Home to the Spider tribe and later the Weaver tribe, who had traveled from a faraway land. Many speculated this to be Farloom. At this moment, this is just speculation.
Was ist Farloom?
The inhabitants of Deep Nest were arguably the most intelligent species of this land.
Okay.
The Weavers crafted stories, shields, and spells on their looms as they recorded their history on spools. Their village was meticulously crafted by the arachnids who created houses of silk that hung across a deep cavern. It was in these that their king and queen monitored the population, and
Okay.
their midwife helped birth children. It was also here that the arachnids plotted to expand their reach by force across the land.
Ei.
The issue they had was that the mantis blocked their access to it. The
Ja, und die sind hier direkt verbunden und das hat sich dann nicht so verbreitet, wie sie wollten. Interesting.
entirety of this land had once worshipped the void, and after that civilization had fallen, many more had popped up and claimed their regions. From the distant village of Deepnest, the Mantis Lords of Mantis Village, to the Moskin of Greenpath, the
wahrscheinlich viel mehr.
mysterious snail shamans that manipulated soul into power spells, the dreamwalkers of the moth, and even the emptiness of the abyss. This land had awoken once again. Across it, there were also simple-minded bugs without true thoughts. They just wandered in the darkness. As the ages passed, these colonies lived on and thrived in their homes. Within Greenpath, however, the Moskin noticed that Un had started to fade away and her interactions with them reduced in number.
Okay, warum?
She promised that one day she would call for them to return to the dream they had come from. Until then, they just had to be patient. To the east of Greenpath, another species came to the verdant
Is this a Jäger?
region. This was a family of hunters
Yep.
who even hunted each other for fun.
Okay.
Over their time there, the family moved away until only one remained, alone in his small area of Greenpath.
Den kennen wir natürlich. Den brauchen wir natürlich für die Jäger-Achievements alles so und für das Jäger-Handbuch.
As it burrowed through the mountains of the wasteland, a worm finally stopped and settled. The worm were, just like Un and the Radiants, higher beings of light. This worm looked at the land ahead and saw what it could become. Of the many abilities of this god species, the worm could see the future to an extent. He saw that this land could become a grand kingdom if he let it.
Okay.
The land was home to many bugs of sentient mind, but there were many others that clawed in the darkness, unaware of anything, just bugs. He would become their king.
Das ist wahrscheinlich der Pale King daneben. Also der bleiche König wäre es dann, glaube ich, stumpf übersetzt. Nehme ich mal an. Ups, ich habe gemutet, aus Versehen, oh sorry.
The worm entered a process of metamorphosis and shed his large form. He became small.
Oh. Das heißt, der kommt da raus. Damn, okay.
Just like them.
Huh.
In this new form, the worm went by the title of the Pale King, as if
Und was ich mal so mitbekommen habe von der Lore, müsste das auch unser Vater sein normalerweise, ne?
shell transformed the kingdom's edge into an ashen wasteland as it decayed. The Pale King was a being of power, and as he looked at the land ahead of him, he claimed it as the kingdom of Hallownest.
Und das ist auch gut übrig
The
geblieben.
worm in general had incredible abilities. Not only could the king see the future and pull lesser bugs into his thrall, but he also formed a beacon that instilled the simple-minded bugs of Hallownest with sentience and intelligence.
Okay.
Under his beacon, the bugs of Hallownest saw the Pale King as the leader, ruler, and the higher being who had created everything within Hallownest. Yet an issue arose for those who sought to leave the kingdom.
Oh.
For if they moved too far away from Hallownest, they would relinquish the precious mind that the king had granted them. For the bugs already with sapience, their time in Hallownest, for the most part, would become a distant, foggy memory.
Okay, das ist dubios. Also, ich dachte mir jetzt als erstes, dieser bleiche König wäre ziemlich gut. Wirklich so der Good Guy und alles so. Wirklich einfach will, dass die Leute gut gehen, aber dass er ein bisschen die Erinnerung fuschen geht, ist scheiße. Boah, dass er Dings bei anderen nicht über unendliche Länge leider es aufhalten kann mit dem I guess, höheren Lebensformen ist halt schade. Aber das mit den Erinnerungen wegzuschwimmen, vielleicht hat das auch ein ungewollter Side-Effekt, who knows.
By the Pale King's side was the White Lady,
Die Königin.
another higher being of roots.
Warte, die sieht man doch, Dings, in Queen's Garden. Ist das nicht die White Lady? Die heißt doch so.
Of worm and roots, Hallownest would thrive. Their union was solidified with the King's Soul, a charm with two halves that, when combined, produced unlimited soul from the very air.
Ja.
In the depths of the land, just above the abyss, the palace grounds were constructed, and within, so too was the White Palace.
PTSD! Oh mein Gott, oder wenn ich nur White Palace höre, ich krieg Flashbacks. Oh Gott, aber Alter, ich muss aber auch sagen, White Palace, abgesehen vom Gameplay her, wo ich gelitten habe, allerdings, es hat ein mega cooles Design. Also, jedes Mal, wenn ich gesehen habe, war ich wirklich erstaunt. Und erschreckt zugleich.
This place became home to the Pale King, White Lady, and those chosen to be their royal retainers.
Die Typen, der White Defender eben auch, ne?
With the void below and wanted to form the entire kingdom of Hallownest above the palace.
Deswegen ist es so nah dran.
Void was an interesting and mysterious force. To keep it calm, the king had a lighthouse constructed within the abyss and ordered one of his subjects to keep the light active at all times.
Bei angesichts, dass wir es im Spiel wieder aktivieren, nehme ich mal, dass irgendwann das nicht mehr der Fall war. Warum? Werden wir wahrscheinlich noch rausfinden.
With Void passive in this state, the king had some of the substance brought to his palace so that he could experiment with and explore it in his workshop.
Warum habe ich das Gefühl, dass das wahrscheinlich der Fall von Dings seinem Königreich hervorbringen wird?
From his work, the king created several void constructs. He filled heavy white armor with the substance,
oh, okay.
for void had no will and no mind to think. In this state, it did what the king commanded. These armored void entities were named King's Molds and were stationed within and across the palace to defend it. The Pale King stayed within his palace and rarely left, but from here he had a lot of work to do. The bugs of Hallownest had sworn their loyalty to their king. He had promised them that Hallownest would last eternal, and he truly believed it would. Although many bugs had woken up and gained the ability to think, feel, and act of their own accord, many of the bugs of this land already had these abilities. In an attempt to develop a working Grand Kingdom, the Pale King reached out to the tribes that existed within the borders of his Hallownest to unite the land. Each tribe could offer something valuable. Over the ages, the Moth tribe had still worshipped the Radiance and her light, but several turned their backs on her and chose to worship the Pale King instead when he asked for their place in Hallownest. The Moth offered their ability to communicate with the Dream Realm. In doing so, they became the caretakers of the dead.
Deswegen sieht man die Serie noch in Westing Ground sehen, bei den Friedhöfen.
Within the resting grounds and Spirit's Glade, the Moths granted the bugs of Hallownest a place of sanctuary, peace and serenity before and after
Haben sie auch
death.
hinbekommen.
They conducted rituals, communed with the departed, and helped those who grieved accept their loss through the manipulation of essence. To the west, the hive-minded mushrooms of the fungal waste saw the king's power of foresight as a form of protection. So they accepted his offer to join the kingdom. The Mosskin of Greenpath waited for the call of to return to the dream. Yet, while territorial, they welcomed the Pale King and allowed him to have roads constructed across their land. However, they also left a warning. If any strayed from the king's road, they would face the laws of The Pale King
haben eine Ausnahme, aber sollten wirklich aufpassen, weil sonst wird's brenzlig. Interesting. Ich frage mich da, wo man an alles von dieser Lore rankommt, aber es ist insane.
Also asked for more from the Mosskin. He and the White Lady liked the luscious region of Greenpath so much that they decided to claim the entire southern region. The Queen
Deswegen sind die zwei so ähnlich. Okay, das heißt, es war eigentlich Teil von GUINEVERE, aber es wurde dann in Queen's Garden umgewandelt, I guess.
Queen's Garden still resembled the dream that had created it from, but as a retreat for the Queen, it was adapted with greenhouses and statues of royalty. As this
Jetzt, nachdem ich das weiß, jetzt, man sieht es jetzt auch, weil es sieht wirklich halt wie so ein Hybrid, also so eine Hybrid-Location aus Dings GreenPath und ebenso dem White Palace Design.
area had been annexed from Greenpath, it was heavily guarded and only those chosen by the king or queen were allowed access. While several of the tribes within the borders of Hallownest had agreed to become a part of the kingdom, there were others
Ich wollte gerade sagen, Tiefnest. Natürlich, diese Bastarde!
And Spider tribe of Deepnest had no interest in becoming a part of the Pale King's kingdom. They wanted the land for themselves. The Mantis tribe also declined the Pale King's offer to join the kingdom of Hallownest.
Aber es ist friedlich geblieben,
In
ne?
this case, however, a deal was made between the two parties. The Pale King offered the Mantis lords their sovereignty if they kept the aggressive population of Deepnest sealed inside.
Okay.
In which they agreed.
Was sie
There
so
was
verraten, ja.
also the bees of the hive to the east. Their hive had been constructed within the kingdom's borders, but the
Einer der geilsten designten Gebiete auch, muss ich sagen. Also der Hive sieht wirklich verdammt cool aus.
Queen Vesper, decided to keep out of the problems and politics of a growing kingdom as the hive sealed their entrance.
Deswegen müssen sie im Spiel aufmachen.
Although some had chosen not to become a part of the kingdom of Hallownest, the Worm's Beacon did bring travelers from other lands, and they came upon the relics of an ancient civilization, one of which was found to the north of the kingdom's edge.
Okay.
Several travelers discovered the large remains of an ancient beast. It was inside that they formed the Colosseum of
okay.
Fools, an arena of entertainment where the strongest warriors fought trials.
Also eine komplett leicht für eine Arena benutzt.
Having pulled together the tribes of Hallownest, the Pale King and White Lady watched as the rest of the kingdom flourished in the caverns above the White Palace.
City of
King's
Tears.
Pass welcomed new bugs to the kingdom of Hallownest with a large bridge that led to the small town of Dirtmouth. Although
Dort wollen wir unsere Reise eben anfangen. In King's Pass und dann kommen wir eben in Mistmund an. Oder wie ich es schön mal vernannt habe, aus Versehen, Dortmund.
modest, it offered access to the crossroads below, stores that sold interesting wares, easy access to the top of Crystal Peak, a graveyard for the fallen, and even the opportunity to meet Confessor Gigi, a powerful entity who had the ability to manipulate Void in return for a rancid egg. The creation of the crossroads below Dirtmouth allowed the kingdom to pulse with life as the bugs explored the towns and cities. Hallownest thrived in trade, refuge, and adventure. While Zoll was regarded as a great energy source, Hallownest relied mostly on the crystals of Crystal Peak to power the kingdom.
Okay.
In doing so, it meant that bugs were hired to mine these purple gems with the help of Glimbacks and Shardamites to help them transport the heavy loads.
Ich bin gespannt, ob wir jetzt noch eine Erklärung bekommen, warum die so aggressiv sind, wenn wir da eindringen. Wahrscheinlich, weil die nicht ihren Job oder so verlieren oder I guess Teil ihres Jobs ist halt sicherzustellen, dass keiner an die Kristalle geht und wir werden dann als Bedrohung angesehen.
For those who followed the Pilgrim's Way through the verdant wilds of Greenpath and the fungal wastes, they would reach the heart of the kingdom, Hallownest's capital city. A place in which they were promised to share in the city's glory. Their wishes would be granted and their truths revealed. During Hallownest's golden age, this city went by one name, but it has been lost to time.
Oh, das heißt, wir wissen gar nicht mehr genau.
Due to many of the events to come,
Oh no.
it would later become known as the City of tears.
Oh je.
The heart of Hallownest was huge. The western quarter housed the common bug, and the east housed the more influential, wealthier, and royal. Upon their entrance to the city, the pilgrims would have noticed the grand spires that darted into the peak of this cavern, the statues of powerful knights, the guardians who protected the civilians, and they would have heard the melodic sounds of Marissa the songstress from the pleasure house. The city even had a pretty advanced water structure that ran underground.
Yep.
These royal waterways dealt with the city's waste, and for the items that fell down into these sewers, they slowly collected together and formed a giant pit.
Oh yeah.
Back within the city, the Soul Sanctum offered the scholars of Soul the ability to explore and understand just what the substance was capable of, as they used soul totems and containers to store it, just as the lost ancient civilization had done ages before.
Und von was ich mich erinnere, von Dialog her, nachdem man die Seelentyrann umbringt, er redet davon, wie er mit Seele und irgendetwas so oder irgendwie auf jeden Fall hinbekommen hat, unsterblich zu werden, dass anscheinend der König auf ihn eifersüchtig dafür war, irgendetwas so. Dass das im Endeffekt sein Niedergang war, irgendetwas so. Wie wahr das ist, das werden wir gleich sehen.
In the highest spire of the city, Lurian the Watcher observed the entire city with his telescope. He was one of the most loyal to his king, and as a high-ranking member of the kingdom, he was even granted Watcher Knights to protect him in his role. As the capital of Hallownest, various materials were imported in from the surrounding regions. Some of many were silks, artwork, and fabrics. While so many resources came in, only few were sent out. This kingdom thrived on the currency of geo, adventure, and many even traded in charms. Powerful accessories that contained a spark of power woven into their very clothes. They offered those who wore them the ability to change how they interacted with the world, enhance strength, the potential to manipulate soul at will, to enhance and extend their lives, and protection were just some of many adaptations. Charms were highly sought after, but they were very limited. Each one was unique. There may have been many ways to craft these items, but the darkest secret of the kingdom was that they formed from a dying wish. The Pale King.
Das heißt wahrscheinlich, jeder dieser Charms, dem eingesammelt ist, eine Reflexion von etwas, das sich jemand gewünscht hat in seinen letzten Momenten oder so, oder nach dem Tod. So ein Todeswunsch. Vielleicht das Traumschild, vielleicht ist ein Dings von jemandem gekommen, wo sich nicht schützen konnte oder irgendetwas so, und deswegen ist das geformt. Maybe so. Das ist actually sehr interessant, dass so die Charms entstanden. Und Frage ist auch natürlich, wie viele Charms gab es eigentlich insgesamt? Also es gibt wahrscheinlich viele noch in Holland alleine schon, die Dings nie gefunden wurden mehr.
King's actions had built a large civilization that spanned for miles and miles through several territories and biomes. Yet, he spent the most of his time in the White Palace to offer their worship to him. The citizens of Hallownest fashioned king's idols so that they could physically thank and revere him, even if it was from a distance. The king's knights were also given ornate seals as symbols of their service to the kingdom. Every bug had a role in this melting pot of culture. While the grubs could tunnel through the caverns as they awaited metamorphosis, not every citizen had this ability. To navigate the kingdom, the citizens of Hallownest could have travelled by foot through Kingdom's Way, and a lot did. The king did, however, implement other forms of travel. Hallownest was
ich wollte gerade sagen, die Hirschkäferwege da.
Home to the stag beetle. These large bugs love to run, and with Hallownest as their home, they ran through the long, empty tunnels of the land. To give the stags a role in the kingdom, stag stations were opened up across the land. In essence, if a bug required transportation to the other end of Hallownest, they simply rang a bell and a stag would be there. These stations opened up the kingdom even more. From Dirtmouth, Greenpath, the Fog Canyon, the capital city, and even Deepnest, the stags of...
Stimmt, sie haben irgendwie es hinbekommen, dass sie sich aber da verbinden wenigstens. Interesting. So viel sie auch gegen das Königreich waren, aber das haben sie erlaubt, aus irgendeinem Grund. Vielleicht mit einem schlechten Hintergedanken, who knows?
Hallownest navigated the long tunnels for the citizens. A station was also constructed in Queen's Gardens.
Yep.
However, only few were permitted to utilize this path. The stags loved their role in Hallownest, and after a long day of work, they returned to the stag nest, their home and place of birth. It was here that they swapped stories about interesting passengers, spoke of new tunnels they had discovered, and raised their young. The stag stations were immensely important. Even still, the king also implemented another system to traverse Hallownest,
Der Tram,
a tram
stimmt.
system. In their construction of the tram line, the tracks ran from the resting grounds, the crossroads, Kingdom's Edge, and the basing close to where the White Palace had been constructed. The workers did also attempt to manufacture a line that ran through Deepnest, but the Spider Tribe killed anyone who stepped on their land. As a result, the construction of this line was abandoned. With a dream to craft the perfect nail and nails for the land's fighters, a nailsmith set up a workshop just outside of the capital city. Even in a mostly safe kingdom like Hallownest, there were still dangers.
Ja.
To create this perfect weapon, the smith sought out pale ore, a rare ore connected somehow to the higher pale beings of the land.
Ich weiß nicht, vielleicht irgendwie... Alter, ich weiß nicht, ein Stück Haut oder so, I guess, von diesen Würmdingern oder so, I don't know.
With their weapons, warriors came to the ultimate Nailmaster Sly for training in the art of combat. Oro, Mato, and Shio were just 3 known students.
Die kennen wir.
The Fog Canyon became home to one of Hallownest's greatest minds, Monomon the Teacher. In this region, thick with fog and cackling electricity, this large jellyfish had her archive constructed. It was here that she researched the land, its inhabitants, and stored the kingdom's knowledge. As a teacher, she also offered her knowledge to her students, one of which was Quirrell.
Ja, voilà.
This golden age of Hallownest truly offered a place for every bug, creature, and traveler. It was...
Ich frage mich aber so langsam, was wird jetzt gleich passieren, damit das alles niederbricht? Ich nehme mal an, es hat etwas mit dem, mit der Seuche da zu tun, mit der, mit dem, was halt in so einen Bruder investiert hat.
Because of the culture and traditions that...
Was, glaube ich, dann Hand in Hand mit der Radiance müsste gehen. Das heißt, die hat wahrscheinlich irgendwie ihre Hand da drin.
Hill King had perfectly crafted that the 5 great knights of Hallownest were revered. Zemur had travelled from a land serene and brought with her the delicate flower.
Yep.
Immensely fragile flowers that contained a power that even now few understand.
Yep. Und irgendwie sind die so stark, dass sie den Abgrund fernhalten können. Also, das ist insane, was für eine Blume das actually ist. Also, bin gespannt, ob man die mehr sehen wird im Silksong.
Isma was regarded as a kind warrior and had some connection to the acid lakes of Hallownest, although unconfirmed. This suggests that she could have had some sort of connection to Un. Hegemol was the largest of the Great 5 and was known to make his friends laugh. Dryer was the fiercest of the warriors.
Und ich meine, das ist die Richtung, wo dann der eine Wurm dann halt benutzt, also der falsche Ritter oder halt der Failed Champion eben.
And then there was Ogrim, the knight who took his oath to the kingdom the most seriously.
Der White Defender.
While the kingdom thrived just outside of the borders, the tribe of Deepnest suffered a great loss. The ruler died, and control of Deepnest was left to their partner, terror. While only a common beast, the weavers and spiders of Deepnest still regarded her as their queen, and under her rule, they attempted to move on from their loss.
Okay.
Under the worship and the leadership of the Pale King, a barren cavern of simple bugs had transformed into a grand civilization with doctors, adventurers, singers, poets, traders, and so many more.
wurde
Over these
riesig.
ages, the king's guiding light had helped them thrive, but his influence had also extinguished another. The Moth tribe had initially turned their backs on their creator upon the arrival of the worm, and over this time, they had forgotten her. The Radiance, however, would not be forgotten.
Oh, oh, das klingt nicht gut. Das klingt mir nach einem sauren Gott. Oh no.
The ancient light of the Radiance had been forgotten by the Moths of Hallownest. In an attempt to make them and the rest of the population of the kingdom remember her, the Radiance entered their dreams. As they slept, the citizens dreamt of a burning light, and she appeared to them. This light threatened to break their minds as it pulled the first victims into a deep slumber. When they awoke, they became feral and aggressive as
die
they
leuchten Augen.
reverted back to the simple minds of their ancestors before the arrival and gift of sapience from the king. That was, if they accepted the call of union she offered in these dreams. The majority of Hallownest dreamt of this forgotten light, and the king urged his people to resist the forgotten light that plagued their dreams. As a result of these desperate attempts to be remembered, and the king's orders to ignore and reject her, these dreams and the light manifested into an infection. Over his time in Hallownest, the Pale King had explored the void and understood that the Radiance threatened to destroy everything he had formed. He had to act. Interestingly enough, within Mantis Village, the Mantis were naturally immune to her call. The Radiance existed solely within the Dream Realm. So, the Pale King and White Lady formed a plan to completely remove her connection to the waking world.
Okay.
The madness of the infection spread across.
Oh, und ich kann mir vorstellen, wie das ausgelaufen ist. Ein Gefäß, welches sie einfängt eben und sie dann fernhält. Beziehungsweise erinnert, sie in einen Traum festhält von jemandem, oder wie?
The entire kingdom of Hallownest as the population declined.
Das wird gefährlich.
To seal the Radiance and her influence away mentally and physically, the king turned to the void. Only an entity, a vessel with no mind to think, no will to break, and no voice to cry, born of God and void, could hold the Radiance. The Pale King had created several void constructs to protect and maintain the kingdom over the ages. This one would just be harder to perfect. In a union of worm and root, the Pale King and White Lady had many children. Each one was birthed in the abyss, where they died, were hollowed out, and then inhabited by void.
Oh wow, okay, das macht's düster. Das heißt, du willst mir sagen, all diese Geister, die wir unten sehen, sind unsere Geschwister? Okay, das gibt mir actually gerade Gänsehaut. Oh damn.
The king and queen murdered what appeared to be thousands of their children in an attempt to create a pure vessel that could contain the Radiance.
Yikes.
To the king, no cost was too great to save his kingdom from the infection. The void shades of the abandoned children were left at the bottom of the abyss as the king sought out that one perfect vessel. And when the pure vessel eventually revealed itself, the king left the abyss with it and sealed the entrance behind him. His discarded children were simply left down there. The creation of this pure vessel had come at a great cost, but it was important to save the kingdom.
Und deswegen ist es mit dem King-Brand eben versperrt im Game. Okay.
The vessel, however, was just one part of the containment of the Radiance.
Oh, boah, jetzt geht's los, ab. Das ist wirklich saugut. Also einerseits das Video ist verdammt gut gemacht, wirklich. Und, einfach auch generell die Story ist. Ich weiß nicht, ob das jetzt einfach zu tun hat mit wie Team Cherry die Story aufgebaut hat, beziehungsweise uns erzählt. Oder jetzt wie das Video ist kompakt. Also es ist so interessant nachzuhören.
As the king brought the pure vessel to the White Palace to raise it for its purpose, the king began the second stage of the plan. The pure vessel, when grown, would be sealed within the Temple of the Black Egg, but powerful seals had to be formed to keep it closed, to trap
Und da kommen jetzt Lumion, Hera und Monomo eben ins Spiel, ne?
it inside. Seals that only 3 powerful dreamers would form if they entered an eternal sleep. Lurian the Watcher volunteered for this role out of loyalty to his king, and Monoman the Teacher of Fog Canyon also accepted this great responsibility. For the third and final seal, the king reached out to Hera the Beast of Deepnest. Although her tribe had refused to become a part of Hallownest, the Radiance infection had also affected them. Even so, Hera had a request.
GUINEVERE?
Hera had lost her partner, but she desperately wanted a child. In a union between tribes, the Pale King gave Hera the Beast what she desired. Together, they created a child of God and the Beast.
Oh, du willst mir sagen, das heißt, Hera wollte halt ein Kind und das heißt, der König und sie haben eins gemacht dann. Müsste das nicht Hornet sein dann?
As Deepnest awaited the birth,
Weil wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, wenn man ja bei bei Hera ankommt, redet Hornet über sie als und es klingt so, als wäre ihre Mutter, ja.
of their queen's spawn, the Pale King returned to the White Palace and spent time with the vessel, his child. Over this time, the vessel was seen by the population of Hallownest as their savior that would seal away the Radiance, their Hollow Knight.
Der Hohlritter. Und das sieht ja aus Path of Pain. Ah!
Soon, the time came and the Hollow Knight was brought to the Temple of the Black Egg, and it was chained within. In a ritual, the Radiance was summoned to the Knight's dream, and as it had no will, no mind, and no suffering, the light was trapped within. Across Hallownest, the dreamers prepared to complete their role in this plan. Monoman the Teacher stored herself within her archives.
Yep.
As a dreamer, the power of this ritual already protected her to an extent. However, she also put in place another level of security. The teacher formed a connection between her mask and the container she would be placed in to dream. If someone or something did attempt to access her physical form, they would require her mask. A mask that she gave to her apprentice, Quirrell. To protect his teacher, Quirrell left Hallownest with the mask, and as he moved further away from the king's beacon, his memories of this crumbling kingdom faded away.
Within
the capital city, at the peak of the spire, Lurian the Watcher lay down and slept as his Watcher Knights protected the entrance to his body. Over in Deepnest, Hera the Beast and the Spider Tribe were overjoyed with the birth of their princess, Hornet. Hera was only able to spend a small amount of time with her child before she had to enter the Beast Den to also go to sleep. As the 3 dreamers went to sleep, they entered the dream realm and became seals on the Temple of the Black Egg. With the Radiance sealed away, trapped within the Hollow Knight inside the Black Egg Temple, sealed by the Dreamers, the kingdom breathed a sigh of relief. Many of the bugs went to the temple to pray, and a memorial fountain was constructed inside of the walls of the capital city.
Stimmt.
A
Ich habe erst jetzt gecheckt, stimmt, das ist der Hollow Knight. Oh lol.
structure to remind them of the great sacrifice that not only the Hollow Knight had made, but also
Ja, die 3 Träume sind
the
herum.
dreamers.
Huh. Aber irgendwas ist schief gegangen. Irgendwas ist schief gegangen.
The creation of the Hollow Knight and sacrifice of the dreamers to save the kingdom weighed heavily on the White Lady. It was her children that had been discarded in the abyss to find that one pure vessel. She felt shame for her role in this plan. To stop herself from the creation of future offspring, the White Lady travelled to the Queen's gardens. With her powers of roots, she bound herself to the ground. Unable to defend herself, Dryer of the Great 5 Knights of Hallownest took an oath to stand watch of her queen.
5 Nights of Freddy. Oh, sorry. Sorry, es war so schlecht. I see myself out. Tschüss.
And protect her from any harm.
Okay.
Despite everything the Pale King and the Dreamers had done to save the kingdom, even after the sacrifice of the Hollow Knight, the Radiance once again appeared in the dreams of the bugs of Hallownest.
Verdammt.
The vessel had been pure upon its selection by the king.
Aber
However, during its time in the White Palace, it had forged a connection with its father. An idea had been instilled. It had a mind, thoughts, and it had become impure.
davon habe ich schon mitbekommen, dass die Path of Pain Szene soll zeigen, dass der Hollow Knight nicht hohl war und dass er doch wenigstens mit seinem Vater eine Verbindung hatte.
The order of the events during this period are murky.
Oh boy.
Regardless, none of them were good. The Moskin of Greenpath were mostly unaffected by the infection, but this aggressive attack on the kingdom did amplify their desire to be reunited with Un. The miners in Crystal Peak fell. Some even merged with the crystals they mined and became mad and aggressive. The mushroom tribe of the fungal wastes that had once allowed pilgrims to traverse their land also became actively hostile against most they encountered. Alongside this, several spoke of a master herald that would signal age's end. A rumored deity that had its own mind outside of the hive mind they shared.
Huh.
A mushroom that
Yeah,
went by
that
the
typ.
name Mr. Mushroom. Reports showed that he travelled across Hallownest unhindered by the infection. As the death toll increased, the kingdom attempted to reduce the spread. The Spirit's Glade was sealed, and the capital city of Hallownest closed its gates so that no one could enter and no one could leave.
Problem ist, die Radiance attackiert durch Träume, das heißt, wie willst du das fernhalten?
The tram and stag stations were shut down. In doing this, the stags slowly fell into isolation. Without a bell to be heard to signal them, they were also forgotten about. Because of this, every region within Hallownest became isolated. The rock base of the cavern above the capital city cracked, and with it, the waters of the cavern of Blue Lake dripped from above. This gave the capital city the name it would be remembered for, the City of Tears.
Yikes.
Although the gates had been closed, the Radiance still wiped out large chunks of the population within.
Ja, weil Dings, okay, cool, ihr habt euch vielleicht eingesperrt, aber sie attackiert durch Träume, diese dumme Sau.
As for their history and records, the parchments of spider silk became ineligible. In these dire times, there were some who still had hope. The Soul Master of the Soul Sanctum saw in his dreams that the cure for this infection could be attained through pure focus, an ability granted through the consumption and manipulation of soul. This dream, however, was a nasty trick by the Radiance.
Oh.
The Pale King ordered that this line of thought be abandoned, but the Soul Master could not understand why his leader refused to at least try to stop the Moth of Light. This Master of Soul believed that if they could use the substance that animated their very bodies, it would help them defeat the infection. so he ignored the Pale King. Within the Soul Sanctum, the Soul Master and his scholars hoarded the soul totems of the kingdom and slowly became intoxicated by its power. The intensity of this substance deformed many of them as it mutated their body into mistakes. The Soul Master, however, did retain his shape and he stayed in the Soul Sanctum. Close by, one member of the upper class of the city watched as the population was driven into madness. Emilita had been cast out by those she had once called friends, and she reveled in their madness. She locked herself in a tower and watched the chaos unfold. Emilita enjoyed the show. The madness of the infection simply evaded her.
Also fragt man sich, warum? Weil sie ist ja noch bis zum Stand des Spiels ja auch noch am Leben. Sie stirbt ja nicht. Man kann ihr auch sogar die zarte Blume geben eben.
Jetzt eine rechtliche Blume. Village, their natural immunity allowed them to ride out the initial infection as they dealt with other issues. The daughter of one of their leaders had entered into a relationship with an outsider. This was not just any outsider. It was the mayor of the Great Five Knights of Hallownest. The Mantis leaders ordered that this relationship be put to an end, but it did not stop the connection they had for each other. This natural immunity to the...
Das müsste, also, Semer ist ja die Dame da eben. Ich nehme mal an, dass der Traitor Lord wahrscheinlich dann der Liebhabende ist. Und des Traitors Child ist dann eben das Kind, ne?
Radiance, for the most part, was fantastic for the Mantis tribe. There were some, however, who believed if they chose to worship her light, they would be gifted with power. Ooh. Unfortunately for the Mantis, one of their 4 leaders fell to this lure, branded the Traitor Lord. This leader...
Stimmt! Jetzt sehe ich's erst, das ist ein 4. Sitz! LOL!
Turned on his sisters. In response, the sisters forced those who had fallen for the Radiance's light out of Mantis Village. Without a home, the Mantis traitors claimed a new territory within Queen's Gardens, an act of aggression not only against Un, but also the White Lady. These traitors did attempt to dominate this land, but they were met by the power of Dryer. Ultimately, she fell to the constant waves of Mantis attacks in defense of her queen.
Man sieht ja eigentlich, Alter, wie krass viele Details da sind. Wenn morgen CIRCUS losgeht, ich muss mehr aufpassen. Man sieht ja so viel eigentlich in der Welt und ich hab's nie bemerkt. Aber jetzt wollte ich das mit dem Madness los. Wie ist mir das nie aufgefallen?
But the traitors also fell to the infection as they became simple-minded creatures. Although Dryer had given her life for the White Lady, this higher being of root had grown so much since she had settled on this land. She was completely unaware that her protector had fallen.
Sie ist komplett abgeschnitten.
Interestingly enough, even some of the Mosskin turned their backs on Un and actively chose to worship the Radiance.
Oh boy.
The Moss Prophet and their followers believed Hallownest would be born again and united in the Radiance's blazing image.
Aber sie werden stimmt infiziert, das sieht man ja mal mehr. Desto mehr man die Siegel bricht, desto mehr sieht man, wie die komplett zusammenbrechen.
Worship her. They called out to the moth in the Moss Chapel. Hallownest had fallen so far in such a short amount of time. The streets filled with bodies, many bugs reverted to a mind without sapience, and the regions of this kingdom separated. The Pale King's vision for a grand civilization had failed. Within the hive, the bees had lived in the...
Alter, was für eine Bitch ist aber auch diese Dings Radius, Alter. Also nur weil Dings deine Leute dich verraten haben, musst du ein ganzes Königreich in den Tod stürzen und infizieren? Was ist das denn für Manöver? Also wenn sie sich nur so, I guess, rächen würde bei den Moff-Leuten, okay, dann geht's ja noch. Aber einfach an alle gemacht, holy shit. Bei Guess, sie macht wahrscheinlich den Bleichen König verantwortlich, weil er sie überzeugt hat, sie zu hintergehen.
away from the kingdom of
Aber
Hallownest.
krass.
But after their queen grew too large for the hive and died, they too fell to the lure of the Radiance after the infection seeped into their home and took over. In an action that surprised a few that still lived, the Pale King pulled the White Palace from the physical realm and transported it into the dream realm along with his followers and servants. In these awful times, the Traitor Lord's daughter died and was buried in Queen's Gardens. Upon the notification of this news, her partner, Zamir, chose to renounce her duties as a great knight, entered the resting grounds, and became the Grey Mourner. Within the royal
Die graue Trauernde.
waterways, Isma entered a grove. Inside, she passed away to unknown means. Just outside, Ogrim.
Oh! Das ist eine der Five Nights da eigentlich. Und von ihr bekommt man dann die Ischmas-Szene, mit der man durch das Gift kann gehen. Interesting, okay.
Defended her grove and
Und der White
waited for her.
Defender, nice.
As for the fifth and final great knight of Hallownest, Hegamol, his fate is unknown.
Aber seine
His
Rüstung.
armor was stolen as he slept by a maggot desperate to defend its kin. After that, no one knows. During this entire period, deep down in the abyss, some of the discarded vessels managed to climb out of their tomb. The king had sealed the entrance to this place, but they discovered a secret way out.
Okay.
With access to the kingdom, some stayed to explore it, while one left it entirely.
One?
With the king gone and the kingdom having entered a stasis to keep it eternal, and the majority of the inhabitants of the kingdom having fallen to the plague of the Radiance, Hallownest fell into ruin. Her influence had taken their minds, but still, the physical infection stayed inside of
Zum
the
Glück.
Black Egg Temple. In Deepnest, Hornet was raised by the weavers and midwife in her mother's absence. She knew her mother had sacrificed herself for Deepnest, and as she grew up, Hornet explored Hallownest and protected the ruins from scavengers. While the stags slowly died out as they waited for a bell to be rung to signal the return of the passengers, there were some who survived the infection.
Wie den einen,
The
den wir natürlich
nailsmith
kennen,
who
ne?
had set up his workshop just outside of the City of Tears had, in a way, attained a sort of pure focus as he spent his attention on the forging of a pure nail.
Okay. Das heißt, das, was der Seelenmeister gesagt hat mit dem Pure Focus, war an sich richtig, aber die Version, I guess, von dieser puren Focus war halt falsch eingesetzt falsch verkauft von der Radiance, um ihn zu bekommen.
A goal he would continue to attempt. The ultimate nailmaster Sly hung up his nail and set up a store in Dirtmouth. He realized that the collection of Geo was more important than combat. To get more of it, he sold the treasures and charms of the fallen kingdom to those who passed by. His students also moved across Hallownest. Oro relocated to Kingdom's Edge,
Yep.
Matto moved to the Howling Cliffs, and Shio made Greenpath his home and pursued art.
Yep.
For the few who remained of the Moth tribe, they prophesied someone that would wield a dream nail and collect all of the essence and memories of Hallownest.
Das wären
The
wir.
wielder. Yet
Der
this
Träger.
chosen one never arrived, and the tribe slowly died off until only a single seer remained
Die wir aus
to
dem Spiel
tend
kennen.
to the resting grounds alone. The King's Pass had once allowed those who traveled through the Howling Cliffs access to Dirtmouth and the Greater Kingdom. Over time and without maintenance, the connecting bridge collapsed. Dirtmouth slowly faded away as the residents within and the few who passed through entered the well into the forgotten crossroads of the kingdom below. They sought wealth, glory, and adventure, but only few returned.
Oh ja.
The City of Tears had become a shell of its former self, but it was not completely dead. The Tower of Love was home to something
Oh boy, ja.
interesting. a void being named the Collector. The origin of this entity is shrouded mostly in mystery.
Okay.
Why was it called the Collector?
Ja, wie ist er überhaupt entstanden? Und das ist wirklich sehr interessant. Also, der Collector ist eine sehr bizarre Person. Einfach generell eine bizarre Person, auch generell einfach seine Lore, glaube ich.
Well, it collected objects and, most notably, the grubs of Hallownest and placed them inside of glass jars to preserve or protect them. On a more interesting note, the key to its home in the Tower of Love was later discovered on the body of a bug that had died. This was not a normal
ein
death.
Void-Tod,
It
ja.
appeared that Void had destroyed this bug from the inside as streams of the substance fell like tears from its face. In the bug's dying moments, it had thought, too long spent together, we become as one.
Huh. I mean, es heißt ja auch der the Love Key, ne? Oder so. War das vielleicht dem Collector sein Liebhaber vielleicht? Das würde auch jetzt zuerst mit diesem Text passen. Huh.
The Void entity and the bug had some sort of relationship, but what it truly meant is unknown.
Ja.
Deep underground in the abyss, the Void called out to the Lightkeeper appointed by the Pale King. It called to him to turn off the lights. Within the White Palace, the Pale King also passed away. It is unknown how this occurred, but his followers inside this dream realm still awaited his return. Hallownest was home to a long history of chaos and ruin. This fallen kingdom, however, was just one of many. The population of the Land of Storms had once worshipped the gods of thunder and the gods of rain. Their gods had either abandoned them or died. They sought out the gods and they went out into the wasteland to find more.
Oh, das sind die Gottseeker, also die Gottsehner. Oh, okay. Okay, die tauchen also jetzt auf. Okay, okay. Vom Regen und Donner waren sie also begeistert. Und, oh no, oh nein. Und sie gehen der Radiance nach. Oh oh.
The Godseekers had a mask that allowed them to focus their thoughts. In doing so, they created an entire world with the shared mind in the dream realm, Godhome.
PTSD, Alter.
Inside, they hoped to elevate and eventually attune their minds to commune with the gods of the world with a Godseeker device through ritual combats. On their journey, a Godseeker picked up what lingered of the power of the Pale King, and it arrived in Hallownest, unaware that he had moved on. However, upon the Godseeker's arrival, it was locked inside of a cocoon and dropped into the junk pit of the royal waterways.
Okay.
How and why this happened is unknown. Yet, while
Wir wissen, von was ich glaube, der Jürgen noch so richtig hängt in meinem Kopf, gab es irgendwie von, dass der Dings, glaube ich, Blasphemie begangen oder irgendetwas? Oder ist die Blasphemie-Teil mehr auf uns bezogen, glaube ich, wenn wir in Gottham eintreten? Also irgendwie hat er was falsch gemacht, weshalb er von allen anderen verstoßen wurde auch.
trapped physically, the Godseekers lived comfortably within Godhome. The kingdom of Hallownest had essentially become a giant graveyard. Spirits of warriors waited for explorers to pass by them,
Oh yeah.
yet some parts of the kingdom were alive. The strongest fighters across the land traveled towards Hallownest to compete in the Colosseum of Fools. Every one of them attempted to become the champion of the Colosseum. Despite their dreams of greatness, many died during their trials, and their corpses were dropped into the chasm.
Deswegen sieht man die ganzen Seiten so, so Leute runterfallen in dem Gebiet. Ach du Scheiße, ist das düster. Holy shit.
Below. Even after the Lord Fool's death, the fighting continued.
Stimmt,
As
die Leiche
the
liegt
ages
einfach. Alter.
passed, many who dreamt of greatness took on the God Tamer. Two new fighters were Tiso and the Little Fool. In the fading town of Dirtmouth, the retired Nailmaster Sly fell into a dream and began to wander the forgotten crossroads, a world he had left behind long before. This was interesting.
Und,
It was as if something deep within Hallownest had brought it back to life, and with it, new travelers made their way towards the kingdom.
interesting, okay. Das hat also dann Sly rausgelockt. Ich glaube, wir kommen so langsam an den Punkt, wo wir in die Rolle kommen, also denkst du, ins Spiel. Und da bin ich sehr gespannt, weil ich glaube, das wird actually wahrscheinlich ein riesen auch Teil des Spiels werden. Also des Videos nicht.
Of the town, Elderbug, had grown up in an age after the closure of the stag stations and fall of the world below. Still, he knew of the dangers in the well. Dangers that had claimed so many that had entered and never returned. Within the City of Tears, a relic collector set
Der alte
his
Typ
store
da, ne?
away from the dead. Lem was fascinated
Der da,
by
weil
the historical artifacts of Hallownest during its golden age.
Die
He
kann
was
in-
also
ja auch,
intrigued
ne?
by the arcane eggs of the civilization that had occupied the land before the kingdom of Hallownest had even formed. As Hornet traversed across this fallen kingdom to protect her mother and father's ruins from scavengers, she also sensed something in the air. A new wave of the infection that reanimated the bodies of the fallen into aggressive husks. Hornet was mostly alone after the Weavers of Deepnest left Hallownest to return to their homeland after they also sensed the return of the infection.
Ja, verdammt.
From the Howling Cliffs to the Black Egg Temple to the cast-off shell of the Pale King's original worm form at the kingdom's edge, Hornet watched as the kingdom was filled with dangers. These bugs simply wandered the region in which they had passed away. They retained their muscle memory of their roles during the kingdom's heyday, but the infection also clouded their minds and made them aggressive upon even a simple interaction.
Und halt noch mehr Leichen, noch mehr Tod und alles so, Alter. Alles nur wegen der Radiance, holy shit.
The miners of Crystal Peak mined, the guards protected the streets, and husks wandered the forgotten crossroads, all in the Radiance's haze. Still, those of sound mind and new arrivals delved into these ruins as the infection brought it back to life. In a deserted village, there was one Menderbug who had survived the entire infection,
Ist Albura?
and he kept
Nein, doch
working.
nicht.
When he discovered a
der
broken
Typ.
sign, he fixed it. As he worked, he wrote of his accomplishments in his diary. To the east of his village,
Das ist Albura.
another bug ran a charm store. Salubra appeared to be completely unaware that the kingdom had fallen.
Huh.
She thought maybe business had just gotten a little quiet lately. Amongst those who sought glory, Zote the Mighty
Oh, no.
arrived in Hallownest. This place reminded him of home. Zote believed names had power. That was why he had called his nail the Life Ender. Yet, Zote's image of himself as a mighty warrior was not the case.
Yeah.
He struggled against the most basic of foes as he wandered the caverns alone. A married couple, Cornifer and his wife, Iselda, also arrived in Hallownest. Cornifer wanted to explore the world, and he did as he took on the task
Cornifer, bitte sei dafür Sexung, du bist so ein Lebensretter.
to map the kingdom, as his wife set up a store in Dirtmouth. Within Fog Canyon, an explorer also discovered a great way to earn geo from the passing adventurers. Millabelle
Oh,
knew
boy.
bugs and how to manipulate them. In the safer region of the infected jellyfish-inhabited misty caverns of Hallownest, Millabelle set up a bank to store the geo
a
of
bank,
those who wanted to protect their wealth. But all was not what it seemed. Millabelle planned to run away with all the geo she managed to extract from her marks. In the neighbouring
Was
region
eine Sau.
of the fungal wastes, Legeater either lived there or moved there to set up his own charm store.
Ja, stimmt.
Legeater was blind but had an amazing sense of smell. He believed that if he earned enough geo, he would become a king.
Okay.
It was here the bug created charms, but how he did this is unknown. On a
Aber es sind zerbrechliche Charms, also er hat sie nicht richtig gemacht, aber irgendwie hat er es hinbekommen. Irgendwas hat er ja richtig gemacht, aber irgendwie beim finalen Step oder so, maybe, halt, sind sie halt dann nicht so stabil wie sonst übliche Charts, die wir kennen. Aber irgendetwas dann von der Grimm-Truppe, vielleicht mit dem Nightmare Realm, eben oder Ebene, hat dann gemacht, dass die nicht mehr zerbrechen.
Quest of Bravery, a Cicada warrior sought to challenge Hallownest's mighty, terrifying beasts. Cloth had the best intention to die in an intense, climactic battle with her club so that she could be reunited with Nola, her partner who had passed away. But the creatures of Hallownest scared her, and sometimes she hid. Hallownest was alive once again with new adventurers, explorers, and the husks of the departed.
I guess ihr Wunsch ging auf Erfüllung, weil sie ist ja beim Twitter dort gestorben, wie man gesehen hat on Stream ja auch. Also denken sie in Hollow Knight bei uns. Oder auch wahrscheinlich bei vielen anderen eben.
Within the Temple of the Black Egg, the Hollow Knight grew weaker and the Radiance's influence on the land grew stronger. Hallownest, however, was still protected by the seal of the Dreamers.
Doch, und jetzt kommen wir, oder?
Many of the vessels that had escaped their fate at the bottom of the abyss had explored the ruins of Hallownest. Many had been lured and brutally killed by the terrifying, shape-shifting Nosk of Deepest. There was also another vessel who had returned to Hallownest after it had heard a call. As of now, it is unknown what called it, the Radiance or the Hollow Knights. Regardless, this vessel, the Knight, traversed King's Pass and arrived in Dirtmouth. It met Elderbug and was told of the Grand Kingdom below, a kingdom that had become a myth. On its path, the Knight encountered Cornifer as he mapped out the Forgotten Crossroads. It fought with the False Knight that wore Hegemol's armor after it...
Ach geil, wie das Video gerade so gemacht ist, dass man in einem Metroidvania so eine lineare Story hat. Das ist geil.
...met a Snail Shaman. It learned how to focus soul into powerful magical strikes. It even reopened a stag station and discovered what remained of this species that had once allowed Hallownest to thrive. Sadly, this stag was the last of its kind, and over all of these years alone, it had forgotten the location of the stag nest. With its first passenger in ages, it asked the Knight to reopen more stations as it travelled across Hallownest and ring the bell in each so that it would hopefully remember the location of its home.
Hat sie auch zum Glück.
Hornet knew of the sacrifice the Dreamers had made. She also watched from afar as this vessel explored her kingdom. On a trip to the Howling Cliffs, Hornet encountered Quirrell. He too had felt the call of Hallownest in his dreams. Dreams of winding roads, misted caverns, drowning cities, and a door with something that called to him just beyond. Hornet saw Quirrell as just another explorer that had come to desecrate her kingdom. In a short battle, Hornet
Ein Comic, okay.
noticed that the mask Quirrell wore was important. Something had called him here. With the belief his journey into Hallownest was significant, the warrior of Deepnest returned to her kingdom to watch over the Knights, or as she called it, Little Ghost. In Greenpath, Hornet looked over the body of a dead vessel, but she was interrupted by the Knight. She warned it to come no closer, that she had seen it as it had crept through the undergrowth, and that she knew why it had come to Hallownest. She would not allow it to break the Dreamer's seals.
Hat nicht so gut funktioniert. Lol. Also mal kurz meine Tür überhaupt zu. Das war nicht richtig, scheiße. So, let's go weiter. Warum höre ich nichts mehr? Nein! Habe ich irgendwie gemietet? Nee. Ja.
Knight defeated her in combat. As Hornet fled, the Knight picked up the Mothwing cloak from the body of the vessel. This would be just one of the many items and upgrades the vessel would acquire on its path. The Dreamers had watched from the Dream Realm as the plan to save Hallownest had essentially failed.
Ja.
Over these ages, they had watched it fall as
Marco
explorers had come and gone. However, they were curious about the arrival of this vessel. From their realm, Lurien the Watcher, Monoman the Teacher, and Hera the Beast projected their minds into the physical realm and spoke to the night. They asked if it sought to break the seals. Lurien ordered the night to stop what it had started and leave them to sleep in peace. Despite their request, the night continued on and found its way to a statue of the Dreamers in the resting grounds. To protect the vessel, the Dreamers lay sleeping. Monoman the Teacher in her archive, surrounded by fog and mist. Lurien the Watcher in his spire, looking over the city. Hera the Beast in her den, amidst the deep darkness beyond the kingdom. Through their devotion, Hallownest lasts eternal.
Aber nicht mehr lange.
It had been through the Pale King's plan that Hallownest had entered a period of stasis.
Ja, also
the
ist da
darkness
wirklich.
and stillness of void appeared to perpetuate one long night. The kingdom was still there, but frozen in a state of ruin, eternal.
Ewiges Ruin, basically, actually. Ja, doch.
Lurien believed that if the Dreamer's seals were broken, the Radiant's light would bring with it dawn, and with it, the complete collapse of Hallownest. Lurien wanted Hallownest to remain as it was. He was loyal to his king, and his king wanted Hallownest to last eternal.
Aber
The Dreamers also did know that the Hollow Knight had grown so much weaker over this long period. Various binding seals had been crafted inside the egg, but they would not be strong enough to stop the radiance. Lurien had to keep the Dreamers' seals active. To stop the night, the Dreamers pulled the vessel from Hallownest into the Dream Realm. It was here that it found itself trapped in a space between body and soul. The Dreamers had displayed their ability to manipulate the Dream Realm, but they were not the only ones in Hallownest that knew how to travel between worlds. Within the resting grounds, the last moth of Hallownest discovered the vessel. In her dream form, the seer guided the knight towards a dream nail. It was with this that it pierced the veil between worlds and returned to Hallownest.
Damn, ohne sie wären wir wirklich
This
aufgeschmissen.
seer had lost so much on her own over all of this time. She had still tended to the graves of the fallen. As she had completed her tasks, the seer felt immense remorse for the crimes of her tribe. They had turned their backs on the radiance that had given them life and light, and it was because of this that she had reacted so aggressively. The seer knew of the Dreamers and the sacrifice of the Hollow Knight.
Oh,
she
yeah.
also knew how to help the knight complete its task to break the seals so that change could come to Hallownest. She did also have another agenda. If she could acquire enough essence, she could be one with the Radiance. The Dream Nail had dulled over time, but the essence it needed to be fully restored flowed around everywhere.
In den
Within
Bäumen,
the
Bossen.
whispering root trees, the warriors who had passed on, and the bugs. Anything that could dream was a source of essence. It was with this ancient moth artifact that it would be able to enter the dreams of the Dreamers and inside destroy them and their seals.
Yep.
Over its journey, the knight explored the many stunning, haunted regions of Hallownest.
Tiefnest.
It helped pull back Sly from the infection of Hallownest in an abandoned village. It also helped Bretta with the same ailment within the fungal wastes. In Crystal Peak, the knight met Myla, a miner who had traveled to the
Stimmt.
region to search for treasure. Her singing could be heard from the entrance of this cavern. As long as she did not fall asleep, she would be okay.
Yeah.
Myla was happy and excited to explore the secrets of Crystal Peak. She also invited the knight to visit her again. She liked its company, and she was sure it liked her singing.
Ja.
In the Mantis village, the knight acquired the Mantis Claw and challenged the Mantis Lords to combat.
Und deren Respekt
Upon the
bekommen.
survival of this deadly conflict, the Lords offered the knight access to Deep Nest and the honor and respect to traverse their region without issue. In Deep Nest, the knight was lured into the nest of Nosk, a shape-shifting monstrosity that killed many of the vessel's siblings. The knight, however, was stronger and more fluid than the other vessels as it used its abilities to kill the beast. The infected spiders of Deep Nest were just as dangerous as the bugs of Hollow Nest. The knight delved into the dark, claustrophobic, web-covered tunnels of this region and discovered the distant village, a collection of homes made of silk that hung above a deep cavern.
Und somit auch Hera.
Upon its entrance, the vessel survived a trap and then discovered the first dreamer, Hera the Beast, protected by a seal in the beast's den. With the dream nail, the knight entered her dream and destroyed her within.
Und damit eben den ersten Dings
Hera
durch.
the Beast inside of her dream also killed her physical form. This action had several effects across Hollow Nest. Hornet became the new queen of Deep Nest after the death of her mother, and the protection on the Temple of the Black Egg became much weaker after the removal of Hera's seal. The plague inside pushed against the edges of its prison, and the orange goo of the infection broke out into the Forgotten Crossroads as light seeds transformed the already aggressive corpses of Hollow Nest into deadly foes. When the knight returned to Crystal Peak, it did not hear the positive hums of Myla. She too, just like many others, had fallen to the infection.
Oh, das ist
In her
schade.
mind, she was commanded by the Radiant to kill the Empty One. She
Ui.
was a perfect soul driven mad. Further in, the knight fought the Fallen and mutated bugs as it acquired the Crystal Heart, an energy core that allowed it to propel itself and fly. As the knight entered the City of Tears, it was met by Hornet at the Fountain Memorial. She had underestimated her half-sibling. It was a resilient born of two gods. She also offered some information. If it still wanted to continue on its journey, it should seek out the grave in Ash. The grave she referred to was that of the Pale King's original form of the worm at Kingdom's Edge. It was there that it was tested by Hornet once again in combat to see if it was strong enough to do what needed to be done to save Hollow Nest. Inside of the corpse of the worm, the knight acquired the King's brand. It essentially selected the knight as King of Hollow Nest and access to every region within. Back in the City of Tears, the knight climbed the Soul Sanctum, fought with the infected scholars inside, and even defeated the Soul Master. It was in this victory that it learned Desolate Dive, a powerful spell that allowed it to smash through the ground. The knight then climbed the Watcher's Spire, defeated the Watcher Knights, and came across the sleeping body of the second Dreamer, Lurian the Watcher.
Ein bisschen hier vom Storytelling finde ich schlecht, weil technically kannst du ja nicht in den Crystal Peak reinkommen, wenn du nicht das Ending Dark hast, soweit ich weiß, oder? Aber ansonsten ist ja ansonsten nichts falsch, ist nur die Chronologie ist ein bisschen komisch.
This bug, so loyal to his king, and
Du Bitch! Fuck you!
destroyed him. Interestingly enough, this dream realm was a little brighter than that of the last dreamer. A sign that the Radiance's influence was getting stronger. A new dawn was on the way.
Es ist wahr, die fallen ja nicht auf.
The dreamer's seals, the kingdom became more alive than it had been for many, many years. In the basin of Hollow Nest, the knight fought with a vessel which had been infected by light seeds. Further in, it picked up the monarch wings, wings of ethereal matter that granted the knight the power to jump higher. In the royal waterways, the little ghost discovered Ogrim. He defended the grove Isma had entered and not returned. and in his time alone, he had crafted statues of his friends.
Oh Gott, das hab ich auch nie bemerkt. Alter, wie geil.
Material in the sewers of Hallownest. This once white defender had become the dung defender, as he had used the vast quantity of the waste of Hallownest in his creations. Further in, the vessel navigated Isma's grove and found her body. The cause of her death is unknown, but she did make a wish. This had created a charm, Isma's tear, that gave the knight the protection to swim through the acid lakes of Hallownest without harm.
Zum Glück, ey, war das eine geile
The
Seite.
royal waterways, the knight encountered Tuck, a scavenger bug who searched for someone.
Hab ich die jemals angetroffen?
Had something to apologize for. Who the person Tuck searched for is unknown. However, it is likely she sought out Boone, another scavenger bug who was sighted close to the Howling Cliffs. Within the abyss, the place it and its kin had been discarded and hollowed out by the void. It was here that it reactivated the lighthouse and calmed the void as it attained the Shade Cloak. A cloak formed a void that offered the knight the power to traverse the void.
Oder durch Gegner.
Over its short time in Hallownest, the knight had grown so much stronger.
Oh ja.
Within the Howling Cliffs, an acolyte of the Grim Troop had died before it could light the Nightmare Lantern, a powerful device that summoned the troop. Hallownest was exactly what they fed off, a fallen kingdom full of nightmare essence.
Yeah,
The knight
true.
discovered the body of this creature and it lit the lantern. In doing so, the Grim Troop traveled from the Nightmare Realm and set up their tents within Dirtmouth. As this had happened, their leader, Grim, sent Grimkin into Hallownest to collect the nightmare essence of the ruined kingdom. Upon the knight's return to Dirtmouth, it entered the tent of the Grim Troop leader and was asked if it wanted to participate in the ritual. Over the following hours, the knight traveled with a Grim child appointed by Grim and fed the nightmare essence harvested by the Grimkin to the Grim child. The troop leader watched as the Grim child grew stronger and stronger.
Bis wir
This was
kämpfen.
important to the survival and the everlasting cycle of the nightmare hearts. When the Grim child had absorbed enough nightmare essence, the next stage of this ritual would begin. The Nightmare King Grim would be killed inside the Nightmare Realm. As a result, the Grimchild would feed on the energy, become host to the Nightmare Realm, and then become the new Nightmare
Das ist ein
King.
Zyklus.
This was a cycle that had occurred for countless years. The knight, however, had a choice. If it followed through with the ritual, then the Grimchild would absorb the Nightmare essence and become the new host of the Nightmare Realm. If the knight instead destroyed the Nightmare Lantern in Hallownest, it would force the traveling troop to leave and seek out another ruined kingdom. In doing this, one of their followers, Brum, would be able to remove the mask that had enslaved him to the Grim Troop. Brum would remember who he was. Nim.
Ich habe nämlich jetzt noch gestern Abend, heute Morgen Hollow Knight gespielt für das Sub 20 Stunden 100% Achievement zu bekommen. Und habe dafür halt auch dann natürlich das mit dem Nagelschmied und dem anderen Entscheiden bei der Grimm-Truppe gemacht, nämlich sie zu verbannen. Und habe das gesehen. Ich habe das voll cool gefunden. So.
With just one more dreamer to go and powerful abilities in its hands, the knight traveled to Fog
Und das cool.
Canyon. The archives of Monoman the Teacher were filled with aggressive jellyfish,
So als
but none
Umu.
of them were as dangerous as a beast Monoman had charged to protect her chamber, Umu. The issue was that Umu had also twisted to the corruption. To the knight's luck, Quirrell also returned to the archives after he had explored Hallownest in an attempt to remember this kingdom. Quirrell weakened the beast as the knight struck it. As they approached Monoman, Quirrell revealed the teacher's mask and removed the additional layer of protection. Inside of the dream realm of Monoman, the knight noticed just how bright the realm had become.
Yikes,
The
ja.
radiance had become so much stronger since the death of the other two dreamers. Monoman knew what the knight sought to do and welcomed it. Its actions going forward to hopefully save the kingdom.
Please!
The death of the final dreamer removed the protection of the Temple of the Black Egg.
Oh boy, jetzt
and
geht's los.
with it, only the Hollow Knight remained. Quirrell had served Monoman for so long, and as the long night came to an end and the Radiance prepared to unleash her light to create dawn, Quirrell felt himself age. The stasis of Hallownest was over. Quirrell had wondered since it had returned to Hallownest where the water that rained upon the City of Tears came from. As he explored, he discovered a blue lake in the cavern above the city, and he felt at peace. It was here that he dug his nail into the ground and left.
Und
After
dann bekommen wir auch ein
this, he
Achievement.
did pass away. How
Oh.
he did is unknown.
Ah, okay.
During its time in Hallownest, the night
So, jetzt frage ich mich zwar, wie werden jetzt die 5 Endings gemacht? Wird es jetzt so bei der Grilltruppe gemacht, wie es kann entweder das oder das passieren, oder wird er jetzt Dings zu einem Punkt kommen und dann werden wir 5 Abschneidungen haben dann? Ich bin sehr, sehr gespannt.
it had changed so much. It had given the nailsmith close to the City of Tears enough pale ore to craft the pure nail, his life's achievement. Having completed this goal, the nailsmith asked that it strike him down. If the knight refused to do so, the nailsmith was free to pursue something else. Speaking of Shio, the knight also learned nail arts from Shio, Mato, and Oro to help it in its journey.
Ich glaube,
The
da fehlt ein
vessel
Teil vom
had
Dexiger.
opened up enough stag stations across Hallownest for the last stag to remember the location of its nest. In a bittersweet moment, the last stag discovered the remains of those he had once travelled with. He
Wow.
was the last one here, but he also sensed that others just like him had journeyed out into other lands.
Vielleicht Sixer.
With what appeared to be a cracked egg, the old stag had
Stimmt.
hope for his kind. With the amount of essence it had collected on its journey, the knight even pushed the dream nail to its full potential and woke it up. This collection of 2,400 essence was more than enough for the seer to truly repent for her and her tribe's crimes against the Radiance. In a moment of true remorse, the seer exploded into essence and became one with
Und zumindest
the
dieser Treib
Radiance.
für immer weg. Sie war die
For
letzte.
an entity without a mind to think and no voice to cry suffering, it had changed Hallownest.
Oh ja.
It even angered Zote the Mighty as it rescued him from several compromising situations. Situations that Zote believed he could have survived without the help.
Sicher.
Having destroyed the seals and helped whoever it had encountered in Hallownest, the knight had several options on what to do next. Each thread it traversed would have a very different effect on how its story would come to an end.
Und hier wird's losgehen, ne? Ja, Ending 1 des Hollow Knight, voilà, genau wie ich gesagt habe. Es wird sich zu einem bestimmten Punkt jetzt alles anleinen und dann werden wir jetzt 5 Abschneidungen haben dann. Okay, jetzt bin ich gespannt. Ending 1, der Hollow Knight, das ganz normale Ending.
Having destroyed the Dreamer's seals of Hallownest, the knight traversed the now heavily infested Forgotten Crossroads. Then it entered the Black Egg Temple. It was here that the knight freed the Hollow Knight from the chains of this prison and a fight began. The Hollow Knight was plagued by the infection of the Radiance
so ein geiler
and
Soundtrack.
it was in pain. With every ability, spell, nail art and nail upgrade this little ghost had discovered on its journey through Hallownest, it fought with and defeated the Hollow Knight. As the infection flowed out of the Hollow Knight, the knight focused on it and absorbed it into itself. It became the new vessel of the Radiance, and with it was chained and then sealed inside of the Black Egg Temple. It had become exactly what the Pale King had wanted. a pure vessel, the new Hollow Knight,
Yep.
trapped inside forever. No mind to think, no will to break, and no voice to cry suffering. Its sacrifice would keep Hallownest eternal.
Wow. Das ist echt krass. Sealed Siblings, voilà.
The knight had made so many changes to Hallownest during its exploration.
Warte. By the way, hab auf der anderen Seite 20 Anspruchs begleichen Specs gekauft. Das, was ich gehört habe, ist mir Abstand das günstigste. Okay. Das ist ja dann gut.
Ruined kingdom. However, it had one more region of this realm to discover. On a path through Queen's Gardens, the knight fought the infected traitor lords. If the knight had helped Cloth earlier on their journey, they would have been helped by her. Unfortunately, or fortunately in the case of Cloth, she was mortally wounded but still landed the final blow.
Und er wurde vereint mit ihrer Liebhaberin.
Cloth quickly succumbed to her injuries and died as a result of a great battle, just like she had wanted, finally reunited with Nola. Deeper into this brutal yet luscious region, the knight found the body of Dryer just outside of an
Die White
entrance
Lady
to the
eben.
White Lady's grove. Inside, the White Lady spoke to her child. She had felt the weakening of the Hollow Knight over these ages and believed she could somehow help her spawn. At first, she asked that it take the place of the Hollow Knight and then offered it a fragment of the King Soul charm. Her part in the union between herself and the Pale King.
Sorry, das sind Path of Pain. Nicht
King
Path of
Soul
Pain, White
charm.
Palace.
The knight traveled to the ancient basin and location of the missing White Palace. Having awoken the dream nail with so much essence, the knight entered a dream realm within a fallen king's mold. Within, the knight found itself in the White Palace. The royal retainers here were unaware that their king had fallen. They waited for his return. These were the lucky few who had survived the onslaught and infection of the Radiance. As the knight climbed this holy place and evaded its dangers, it discovered the body of its father on his throne. The Pale King held the other part of the King Soul charm in his hand. Both parts of the charm slammed together and formed back into the King Soul. With it, the knight followed the charm's guidance into the
Für die
abyss.
Void-Seele.
Right at the bottom, surrounded by the countless bodies of its siblings,
Das
the
ist
knight
so krass.
discovered a new pathway that the King Soul had opened up for it. It was in this place that the vessel entered the birthplace, where it had been born, where
What?
it had died, and then began its journey. The little ghost avoided the strikes of the shades who lingered in this place and came across a shiny black egg that offered a reflection of this poor, unfortunate creature. Upon a strike with
das
the
unser
dream
Geburtsort
nail, the
dann, ne?
knight had a vision of the past. How it had climbed its way out of the abyss just as the Pale King had chosen a vessel as the Hollow Knight. How it had fallen into a death pit below. This vision showed it what it was, that these shades were its siblings, and that it was essentially a failed experiment created to save a kingdom.
Aber wir sind
Having
irgendwie
learned the
rausgekrochen.
truth, the King's Soul was engulfed with void and transformed into the Void Heart, a charm that unified the void under the knight's will. As the knight traveled to the Temple of the Black Egg, it was greeted by Hornet. She explained that she would not join it inside as the structure had been built to sustain vessels. If she were to enter, the bindings inside would drain her. She stated that while she would not risk her own life in the initial battle against the Hollow Knight, she would aid her sibling if the moment presented itself. Just as Hornet had promised, during the battle between the Knight and the Hollow Knight, she jumped in just as the Radiance-infected vessel
Zack.
fell weak, and she retained it so that the Knight could finish it off. During this struggle, the Hollow Knight knocked Hornet down and she fell unconscious. In these moments, the Knight defeated the Hollow Knight and it focused and absorbed everything that the Hollow Knight was and became the new vessel. Just as quickly as this had occurred, the knight was chained within and the temple of the black egg was sealed with Hornet as a dreamer, trapped inside with the knights. Hornet had become an unwilling dreamer as her sibling had followed through with the ultimate plan of the Pale King.
Stimmt, sie wird dann zum Sieger. So, Dream no more. Oh boy.
In that critical moment in which Hornet held the Hollow Knight at bay, the knight did not strike it down. Instead, it struck the creature with the awoken dream nail and entered the dream.
What, are we gonna fight the sun?
It was in here that the knight came face to face with the Moth of Light it had been crafted to contain. Only it would not contain the beast, it would destroy it.
Oh yeah.
In a brutal battle, the knight fought with the Radiance in all her glory. It evaded her powerful attacks and weakened her, strike by strike. Having unified the Void under its will, the Void entered this dream with the knight. So too did the Hollow Knight in its shade form, weakened by its ancient enemy. The Radiance was restrained as the vessel broke free of its form and its shade lashed out repeatedly at the Radiance.
Oh mein Gott, jetzt check ich es. Das ist ja unser Bruder. Oh mein Gott, ich bin so lost. Ich muss so aufpassen in Sex und Jesus. Alter, wie lost war ich mitten in der Story?
The of light, brighter than essence, was beaten and destroyed as the light inside of her bled out. Then her body was dragged by the Void into the darkness. The sacrifice of the vessel had destroyed the very light that had plagued Hallownest. In going against its father's plan, the population would dream no more of the Radiance. It had broken the cycle. As Hornet woke up, she saw the shattered mask of her sibling. She also saw that the black egg was gone. Hallownest was free. Deep down in the abyss, the shades of the children of the King and Queen of Hallownest were finally free to rest, and they returned to the Void.
Ich könnte mir vorstellen, von allen Endings, die könnten Canon sein, ich glaube, das hier könnte actually das sein, auf dem Silksong weiter aufbaut. Das wäre mein Guess. Könnte aber auch sein, dass einer der Gotham-Endings ist. Also es ist einer der letzten drei auf jeden Fall. Glaube ich mal. Who knows?
The Void Heart. Instead of traveling to the Black Egg, it explored the royal waterways a little more. Inside, it came across the junk pit and the cocoon sealed in chains. With a key, the knight freed the Godseeker trapped inside, picked up the God Tuner it dropped, and entered its mind with the Dream Nail. Instantly, the Godseeker was insulted that something as puny as the knight had entered her realm. She sought gods, not cringers. She believed the gods connected to Godhome would destroy the knight, regardless of...
Also ein bisschen zerfetzt haben die Götter uns. Es war so ein Pain, diese 42 Muster zu machen, aber wir haben es geschafft. At what cost?
She watched as the knight attuned the gods of Hallownest to Godhome through ritual combat. Through each battle, each pantheon, the knight defeated these powerful entities and ascended the minds of itself and the Godseekers. This allowed the knight to attune to and fight even stronger and more powerful gods. The Godseekers had come to Hallownest to find the God of Gods. They wished to bask in its power. The knight rose high in this godly coliseum and attuned to the mind of the Hollow Knight itself. Only in Godhome, it was viewed as the pure vessel.
Oh boy.
The defeat of the pure vessel had an interesting effect. It elevated the realm of Godhome and allowed the Godseekers to discover the most powerful of the gods. Or it allowed the God of Gods to discover them. The absolute radiance.
Oy, oy.
In this series of ritual combat, Godhome had connected to the dream realm of the trapped radiance, and she wanted to fight.
Oh ja, das wollte
another
sie.
battle between two very powerful entities. The knight fought with the absolute radiance.
Moment mal.
Very powerful entities.
Der benutzt Cheats, habt ihr das gerade gesehen? Die Kugel ist literally gerade durch den gegangen.
The fight. In another battle between
Da hat er gesehen, aber hier, zack, getroffen, ey, lol.
Only as the one who had unified the void, the knight brought.
Boah, ich verstehe es. Ja, weil er schon wieder getroffen. Das war wahrscheinlich für die Aufnahmen. Warte, ich habe jetzt früher rübergelaufen.
Brought this darkness into the dream and conflict with it. As the battle came to an end, the night shell shattered and its shade fell into the void. From the darkness below, void tendrils latched onto the radiance as a large shade entity emerged from the shadows. Dubbed the Shade Lord,
Sind das
anything
wir?
about this entity is
Okay.
completely unknown. Whether the knight transformed into it as a result of its ability to attune the gods, or whether it had simply waited in the abyss for its time to strike, is up to your interpretation.
Ja, maybe ist das, also während Dings die Moths von ihr stammen, halt von der Radiance, könnte vielleicht die ganzen Void-Leuten eben halt von dem Shade Lord abstammen. Das kann gut sein.
Still, the Shade Lord ripped open the mouth of the creature of light and struck it until it exploded into essence.
Gott sei Dank. Embrace the Void. Okay, jetzt kommt die
The
Abkürzung.
destruction of absolute radiance at the top of Godhome had several effects.
Oopsie.
Within this dream realm created by the Godseekers through pure focus, void flooded from the clouds as the Shade Lord, or a void given focus, flew across this domain. From her throne, the Godseeker watched as this entity, a god of gods, took over her realm. She embraced the void as it destroyed her realm and its tendrils wrapped around her
Stimmt,
face.
das war für sein
into
Schicksal
her
akzeptiert. Ja.
eyes. In Hallownest in the Junk Pit, void poured out of the Godseeker's physical form and tendrils slashed out aggressively. She had encountered what she had sought, but it had come at the cost of her life.
Oh ja.
High above at the Temple of the Black Egg, Hornet looked around in confusion as the vines of infection around this region lost their power. The Radiance had been defeated somehow,
Aber
and the
wir.
infection had died, but the Knight had not entered the Black Egg. It had completed its task, but from afar. However, from the egg, Hornet heard the stomps and chains of the Hollow Knight. It was no longer afflicted by the plague of the Radiance, but it still appeared to be aggressive. So she prepared her needle.
Oh, okay. Könnte das maybe der Anfang sein oder so? Oder halt so kurz danach sein, vielleicht wie Sexsong läuft? Ich glaube, ich habe noch gar nicht dran gedacht, dass das einfach der Hollow Knight selbst ist, nicht, dass das wir sind irgendwie in unserer Form. Interesting. Das heißt, in dem Ending könnten wir technically noch leben. Okay, jetzt den Ending für Delicate Flower, jetzt bin ich gespannt.
If the knight had given the physical body of the Godseeker a delicate flower
From
from
the mare.
Zemir before its battle with absolute radiance, these events would have played out slightly differently. The knight would have still defeated absolute radiance in exactly the same way. Hornet would have still noticed that the knight had stopped the infection and she would have still encountered the Hollow Knight. The difference here was that when the void attacked the Godseeker in Godhome, and in turn traveled through her into the physical world, the delicate flower would have reacted interestingly upon contact with just a drop of void. The flower flashed brightly, and in this moment, the Godseeker and void around disappeared completely. All that remained was the flower. Whether this banished the whole void of this land is unknown.
Gute Frage. Passing of the Age, was?
The knight had met so many interesting bugs.
Der Herald.
One of them was the Herald, of which the Mushroom tribe spoke of, Mr. Mushroom. Throughout its exploration of the many stunning regions of Hallownest, the knight had encountered Mr. Mushroom 7 times, and having worn the Spore Shroom charm, it had been able to understand the mushroom. But all it heard was riddles and mumbles.
Also einer der
Even
letzten
now,
Achievements.
this entity is shrouded in so much mystery. He knew that worms pulled bugs into their thrall, developed kingdoms, and as the ages passed, they fell. He was the Herald, a symbol of the passing of an age.
Oh ja.
Regardless of which path the knight followed and how it changed Hallownest, Mr. Mushroom decided it was time to go. He spoke of sandy lands, vast, ancient kingdoms, that Hallownest was not the first and that it would not be the last to fall.
Das sehen wir vielleicht
Mr.
sogar bei
Mushroom
6.
launched into the sky on his way to a new kingdom, an age came to an end. Despite which ending the night arrived at, Hallownest was changed.
Oh ja.
forever. The Radiance was either contained or destroyed completely, and the territories across this land would be free to rebuild. The Mosskin would continue to wait for Un to call them back to a dream. The Mantis would defend their village with aggression, and the Beasts of Deepnest would attempt to return to a time before their king had died and their queen had volunteered her mind.
Aber das schon,
With
ja.
many new adventurers and explorers having arrived in Hallownest during its period of stasis, these bugs could either simply explore a fallen kingdom or help rebuild it. The fate of Hallownest truly is up to you,
Oh ja.
the player, and your choice of how the knight's journey came to an end.
Wir haben alle 5
Yet,
Endings,
if
also
the
oder
Embrace the
6.
Void ending was considered true canon, then it would appear that Hallownest would be under attack from another force, Void, after the Void Beast traveled through the mind of the Godseeker, the only weapon to stop it, light or a delicate flower. Team Cherry have stated that the canon ending is up to the player's choosing. However, with the Hollow Knight sequel on the way, it would suggest that the second ending, Sealed Siblings, cannot be canon
True.
in any sense, as Hornet leaves Hallownest and travels to Farloom, a kingdom ruled and haunted by silk and song, dedicated to faith and pilgrimage. As of
Das
now,
sieht das gut aus.
the fate of Hallownest is of your choosing.
Oh, ich freue mich schon.
I have loved
Ich würde halt sagen, wenn ich müsste sagen, was für ein Ending kenne, sage ich das 3. Das heißt, da wo wir Radiance halt innerhalb von dem Hollow Knight besiegen und dann halt selbst skripieren dafür. Und wenn nicht, dann ist es einer der Godseeker-Endings eben.
exploring Hollow Knight and Hallownest over the past few
Und Sealed Siblings kann
months.
es halt nicht
As you
sein, ja.
can see, I haven't posted the video in a couple of weeks because the research for this timeline was so time-consuming and extensive. It was also completely worth it.
Ja, das war verdammt gut. Das war wirklich, also das Video war wirklich gut. So nur die einzige Stelle, die ich ein bisschen komisch fand, war mit Crystal Peak, dass man Desolate Dive holen geht bei den Seelmeister und man hat aber dann schon Crystal Peak dann schon chronologisch eigentlich dann abgestempelt. Das macht keinen Sinn, weil eigentlich kommt man ja gar nicht in Crystal Peak ohne Desolate Dive. Aber das ist so eine Kleinigkeit wirklich. Also das Video ist verdammt gut gemacht.
This is one of the best stories I have explored. And
Ja,
I
es wird
cannot
verdammt
wait for
gut.
Silk Song to come out, so that I can
159
explore
Gegner,
another
nein!
kingdom from the minds of Team Cherry. This video would not have been possible without Scarab, a mod manager, and these mods right here.
Huh.
The Pale Court mod was also incredibly useful to see what other fans envisioned the 5 great knights of Hallownest to look like before its fall, and how they fought. I did my
Cool.
best to put this timeline into a chronological order, but with the way the story is told, it was pretty difficult to get it perfect, so
Ja, weil jeder Spiel seine eigene Story erzählt sozusagen. Unsere Story, wie wir durch Hollow Nest kommen.
I put the
cool
events
eigentlich.
in an
Ui.
order that made the most sense. The dreamers can also be killed in any order, I think. But the order I put them in just made sense for the telling of this story. Normally, when I do these longer...
Ich glaube, wir haben es auch ungefähr in so der Reihenfolge. Also wir haben Hera als erstes gemacht, das weiß ich. Ich glaube, dann hatten wir Lumien oder wie gemacht und dann zuletzt eben Monomo gemacht. Also
Timelines. I try to answer every question that I think of when I explore a world, but for Hollow Knight, I think I am okay with just wondering.
ich glaube, das war auch die
Was
Intention.
Mr. Mushroom really a god? What was he? How did the Pale King die? The bodies of kings moles who guarded his throne suggest he was murdered.
True.
How did the void kill many bugs out in Hallownest? These are mysteries I'm happy to just accept as mysteries. On a final note, I did want to add every story and bug I could into this timeline, but I did not just want to list things that happened or could happen in Hallownest. The Fluke Bomb, each individual warrior dream, and Steel Soul Djinn are also interesting, but I found telling every story would just have bloated the video. I'm sure Mossbag has probably covered them anyway. If you enjoyed this timeline, just go ahead and like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Share it with other people who like Hollow Knight. I hate doing these calls to actions, but I did put a lot of time into this video. Finally, I would like to thank my gold tier patrons and channel members: Jonas, Lewis, Queen Arby, Fluffy the Dragon, Chicken Guy 791, Ruben Mendoza, Duke, Toadnut, Orin X, Azu, Karatana, AJ, Verona, Comfy, BG Games, Apravis, Arnis,
schon ein Like dafür, was war wirklich ein verdammt gutes Video.
Nabar, and 501st Clone Boy. What did you think of Hollow Knight? Which ending do you consider to be canon? And what would you like me to cover next? Let me know in the comments below. This is where our story ends. Check back next week for a new one.
Nice. Und das war's. Das war ein geiles Video. Also, das war verdammt gut gemacht, wirklich. Also, checkt Dings, Skywon aus, weil wie es aussieht, macht die Person auch über andere Spiele so eine Timeline und über die Lore und alles so. Und wenn die ähnlich sind wie diese Hollow Knight Videos, Dings, oh, ups, nee, das wollen wir nicht anschauen, dann wird's wirklich insane. Ja, also das war wirklich ein verdammt gutes Video. Ich weiß jetzt definitiv mehr. Ich weiß auch definitiv, dass ich bei Silkstar mehr auf die Hintergrund achten muss. Weil, holy fuck, habe ich viele Sachen verpasst, wie es aussieht. Und zwar wirklich manchmal sehr offensichtlich. Oh je. Und ja, aber dann für die, wo auf YouTube das hier schauen, ich danke euch fürs dabei sein. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet Spaß an dieser Reaction. Hoffentlich nicht so spät editiert, ne, Shartex. Ja, und euch wünsche ich dann noch einen schönen Tag. Man sieht euch dann so in den anderen Ecken des Internets, ne? Bye, bye. Und wir machen jetzt halt weiter noch, weil wir haben bei weitem noch ein paar Sachen zu schauen. Was sollen wir jetzt als nächstes schauen? Also das Video war richtig geil. Das war richtig geil. Ich soll etwas Kleineres jetzt kurz machen und dann The Amazing JUJUTSU. Ja, komm, ich würde sagen. Also wird JUJUTSU Kaisen Season 3 Trailer actually jetzt machen. Ich habe noch nichts davon gesehen. Außer jetzt halt das Bild, was ich gerade sehe. Ich sehe schon Newton, aber das habe ich schon gedacht. Ich bin sehr, sehr gespannt, was wir jetzt sehen werden hier. Also dann mache ich mich mal wieder bereit. Warte. Wie geht das nochmal? Hallo YouTube und willkommen... Nee, einfach noch einmal. Scheiße. Hallo YouTube und willkommen zu einer weiteren Reaction. Heute mit dem JUJUTSU Kaisen Trailer für Season 3. Ich bin sehr gespannt, weil ich habe mir so viele Spoiler entgehen lassen, von was in diesem Trailer ist. Also, ich bin nicht gespoilert, von was passiert, weil ich habe den Manga gelesen, aber was jetzt gecovert für den dritten Season, weiß ich natürlich jetzt nicht. Und ich bin sehr gespannt einfach, was alles gezeigt wird. Und ich würde sagen, wir verlieren auch deswegen nicht so viel Zeit, springen hier rein und schauen, was uns hier erwartet. Warum habe ich keinen Towel? Yuji natürlich komplett zerfetzt nach dem Dings. Der Culling Game, oh boy. Das wird ein geiler Arc, wegen bestimmten Momenten. Oh, die Animation sieht clean aus. Utah! Original Story Jutsu bei Kicker. KRAI, Jump Complex, Shrisha. Oh, werden wir das mit Maki sehen? Oh, ich hoffe, wir sehen etwas Bestimmtes mit Maki. Das war Ending von Season 2. Und zack. Oh ja. Yeah, about that. Oh, das sieht gut aus. Das sieht verdammt gut aus. Oh mein Gott. Oh, shit, das sieht richtig gut aus. Und da ist Maki. Yes! Oh, okay, die Szene von Maki wird animiert. Ich freue mich. JUJUTSU Culling Game. Für dich selbst leben wird nicht mehr genug sein. Okay. Release? Let's go, Rika. The Girl Game Part 1 fängt an im Januar 2026. Okay, das ist viel früher, wie ich erwartet habe. Holy shit. Okay. Und erster Teil, das heißt 12 Folgen und dann im Laufe des Jahres bekommen wir den zweiten Teil, oder wie muss ich das verstehen? Boah, ich hoffe natürlich, dass die Mappa-Leute sich nicht überarbeiten, weil man hat ja vieles schon gehört, dass Mappa komplett überarbeitet ist. Okay, es sind noch 20 Sekunden, aber da kommt safe doch etwas. JUJUTSU KAISEN Execution über Ex the Culling Game begins. Theatrical release schedule for Friday, November 7th. Worldwide release date to be announced. Okay. Das heißt, man bekommt die ersten 2 Folgen oder so gezeigt, oder wie? Das wäre actually ziemlich nice. Das heißt, man kann da schon 2 Monate erst was sehen. Okay. Ich freue mich. Ich freue mich richtig darauf. Weil, ich weiß doch, wie ich derbe das abgefeiert habe, wo das Season 2 am rauskommen war die ganzen Zeit. Und jetzt, dass Season 3 so schnell kommt doch jetzt aber. Also die haben sich auch, wann war eigentlich die letzte Season rauskommen jetzt? Ich glaube, es war 2024, I think. Ich kann auch falsch liegen, ich weiß nicht. Aber ich bin sehr hyped. Die Animation sieht schon wirklich verdammt gut aus wieder. Zumal mit so den Effekten, also wenn sie ihre Fähigkeiten alles so benutzen, dann... das sah gut aus. Ich bin sehr gespannt. Und zumal wegen einer Szene mit Maki da. Ich freue mich schon. Weil ich das richtig interpretieren, das wird so eine geile Szene. Aber ja. Das war's von JUJUTSU Kaisen Trailer natürlich. Gibt nicht viel jetzt, glaube ich, zu besprechen noch jetzt. Mir ist jetzt auch nichts Besonderes jetzt nochmal aufgefallen vielleicht. Natürlich eine Menschen von Rika. Yuta ist natürlich jetzt mehr eingebaut und alles so. Und ja, und ich bin gespannt. Angesichts, dass es in 2 Teile dann wahrscheinlich gemacht wird. Wo würden sie den ersten Teil actually enden? Können sie bei dem enden, was ich meine mit Maki? Maybe. Den zweiten Teil habe ich auch eine Ahnung. Und hat zu tun mit dem, was Yuji sagt über, dass Sukuna irgendwas was plant mit Megumi. Was, sage ich nicht, weil ich weiß es natürlich schon, aber es könnte actually damit zu tun haben, dass es auf dieser Note endet. Aber das werden wir, in den nächsten Monaten sehen. Aber das war es dann von mir, für wie die YouTube-Reaction. Ein kleineres Video, aber ich glaube, das muss auch mal ein bisschen sein. Und ja, dann sieht man sich in Tiefen des Internets. Bye, bye. Und wir sehen dann wieder weiter für eine andere Reaction natürlich noch hier. So. Was machen wir als nächstes? Ich würde sagen, wir gehen actually zu Genshin rüber, weil ich will wissen, was bei KRAI auch läuft. Wenn wir schon so bei den Trailer-Sachen sind, dann gehen wir jetzt hier hin. Song of the Dragon Special Program Recap and Highlights. Hier. Das scheint der Trailer zu sein. Okay. Let's go. Warte. Ich muss die Reaction vielleicht richtig starten mit dem Intro. Lol, ich bin dumm. Okay. Also, das hat wehgetan. Aua. Au. Das hat wehgetan. Also. Hallo YouTube und willkommen zu 1, 2, 3. Ich krieg dieses Hallo YouTube manchmal von der über meine Zunge. Also, hallo YouTube, willkommen zu einer weiteren Reaktion wieder hier live on Stream halt. Wir werden auf den Genshin Trailer reagieren. Ich weiß schon so von New Quality of Life Updates und alles so, dass wir anscheinend alle 12 Wochen einen 5-Star können wählen von einem bestimmten Roster eben und alles, sofern man sie besitzt, glaube ich, und noch viel mehr. Aber ich habe komplett abgesehen vom Image halt für die nächste Version, keine Ahnung, was laufen wird in diesem Update. Also ich habe noch gar nicht den Trailer gesehen, deswegen wir schmeißen uns jetzt da rein. Ich habe so Bock darauf. Let's fucking do this. So, KRAI natürlich.
This is where our spaceship landed when Lumine and I first arrived in Tavad.
Excuse me, was? Du kannst den Trailer nicht mit dieser Ansage starten. Was meinst du, dein Raumschiff ist literally in KRAI gelandet? Hätte man vielleicht 6 Nation Erster wissen können.
All I remember is Lumine waking me up and us leaving the ship.
Okay.
The wild hunt came. It passed through all the graves.
Was zum Teufel? Bosskampf oder was? Das sieht mir nämlich übel nach so einer Intro-Sequenz aus. Ach du. Ach du Scheiße. Ah, das ist Flint's, oder? Das scheinen so neue Gegner zu sein. Ja, Flint's. Ein neuer 5-Star. Okay, Lanzentyp. Element kann ich gerade nicht entziffern, aber ich sag mal... Eis? Ich think, nee. Elektro, ich hab's gerade gesehen. Okay. Okay, natürlich ist immer das Gameplay ein bisschen integriert. Ich habe das schon gesehen, also nicht durch den Trailer, aber durch Teaser, Leaks. Oh, not KRAI Sightings. Da sind wir!
Ad Astra Abasask. Welcome to Not Cry, Dominion of the Fatui.
Ist das ein Drone? Warum ist sie die Catherine? Und sag mir bitte, wir sind zu schlau, das zu checken, dass das ein Drone ist, einer der Fatui. The fuck? Was macht sie denn da? Also, ich weiß, dass die da ist. Das wurde ja schon genug geteased in der 5.8 Conquest, aber what the fuck? Doch. Wo kommt die her? Also, ich hab nichts gegen Dori. Dori hat mir sehr Spaß gemacht, aber wo kommt die her? I guess es würde passen, weil von was ich ja verstanden habe, ist ja Not KRAI so ein Händler, I guess Heiligtum basically. Das heißt, Dori würde der perfekt passen, actually, ja. Sie sieht so pretty aus. Und generell Not KRAI sieht so cool aus. Ist das? Warte. War das gerade? Ja, das ist in Effa gewesen. Okay, ich hab's richtig gesehen. Und das Aino? Forster? Ja, Forster. Ich habe schon gedacht, dass sie Forster ist. Boing! Was für ein Element hat sie? Wasser? Wasser, okay. Ich glaube, wir hatten noch kein Großschwert mit Wasserelement, ne? Das ist das erste Mal Hydro jetzt mit zum Big Schwert. Sieht cool aus. Not KRAI, ne? Das sieht nach einer Cutscene aus.
It is a unique elemental force found only in Not KRAI, or rather, a pure, primordial form of elemental energy.
Okay.
They say that each of their moon chanters has had access to an ancient relic that lets them see the true past.
I am still trying to piece together the many fragments of our past. It is a story not only of the Frost Moon Scions, but also of the moons themselves.
Ja, es sind ja ganz viele diesen Moon Sisters.
Are the last descendants of the ancient golden realm of Hyperborea.
Hyperborea, das gesagt. Lauma, die haben wir auch schon gesehen. Es gab ja schon einen Teaser, so einen kleinen, da haben wir sie gesehen. Aber Hyperborea, was war das nochmal? Das ist, glaube ich, es gab ja diesen einen Zettel bei in Fontaine, wo man 4 Zyklen gesehen. Ich glaube, Hyperborea war der zweite oder irgendetwas, so, wenn ich mich richtig erinnere. Korrigiert mich, wenn ich frage. Oh, sieht das pretty aus. Moment mal. Warte. Ist das hier Not KRAI? Das, weil vom Design her sieht es mir ein bisschen mehr aus, so wie Fontaine, finde ich. Obwohl wegen diesem Metallhaus da oben würde ich eher doch an Not KRAI denken. Aber vielleicht ist das ziemlich nah an Fontaine. Oh, sieht das schön aus. Columbina. Ja, von was ich so mitbekommen habe über die Lore von Columbina, klingt es so, als wäre sie eine der 3 Moon Sisters gewesen und wurde dann verstoßen. Oder es gab eine 4. und das war sie und sie wurde verstoßen. Und jetzt, nachdem alle 3, wie es wirkt, mal tot sind, oder mindestens eine, weil es wird ja davon geredet, wie die Leiche eine der Mondschwestern in dem Himmel hängt, was basically der Mond ist. Cool, denn man schaut die ganze Zeit eine Leiche eigentlich basically an. Dass sie das halt auf jeden Fall irgendwie jetzt ersetzen wird. Das wird insane. Ist das Nicole gerade?
I still wish to return to the moon.
Oh boy, jetzt wird's
The
ernster.
TUI built their research facility on top of the remnant over on Paha Isle, but they've had their sights set on the one here too.
The sacred relic of the Frost
Da
Moon
ist sie.
Scions. It's been stolen.
Today's encounter is merely a courtesy call, a friendly warning, if you will.
Lass mich raten, dass dieser Dialog kommt von dieser Interaktion bei der Commissioners Guild mit ihr. Und danach haben wir wahrscheinlich Catherine wie üblich, oder wie?
I strongly advise you not to stand in the Fatui's way.
Oh boy.
The Frost Moon Scions will never
You never-
hand over anything to the Fatui. With your blood, we shall draw an inviolable line in the snow.
No irregularities
Okay,
detected
sie.
in the duct.
Zendrone.
You're wrong. Just because not cry.
Oh, sie wird ein Problem. Dings ist, es sind sehr viele Fatuis hier. Es sind, es ist Zendrone. Pero haben wir auch gesehen. Wer war noch? Ich glaube, es gab sogar Mentions vom Doktor, dass er sogar auch hier ist. Das heißt, das wird übel.
Lacks a ruler at present. That does not mean it should not be ruled. We Fatui are simply establishing a new order.
Oh oh.
Kuvaki ammunition fully loaded. Assessing risk level maximum.
Oh
The
oh.
Curatorium of Secrets has always striven to abide by a policy of
Moment mal, das hat der Roboter das gerade abgefangen? Ach du Scheiße.
Of strict neutrality. We do not take sides with any faction in not cry.
Oh boy. Lumin?
I suspect your spaceship has been intentionally hidden away.
Are you wondering if your sister might be in cahoots with the Fatui?
I'm not
Oh.
asking you to trust me. Just don't try and stop me.
Oh boy. Es steht immer mehr Konflikt zwischen den Geschwistern. Ach du Scheiße. Oh no. Ja, die Fatuis sind definitiv nicht gut. Aber Celeste ist auch nicht gerade gut, die sie gerade probieren zu stürzen. Oh boy, das wird übel. Kommt da noch
Take
etwas?
care. The moon can be treacherous.
Oh boy. Also da haben wir die ganz vielen neuen KRAI-Charaktere an. Wir haben Zendrone, die wahrscheinlich zumal jetzt für die ersten 2 Acts, die wir bekommen, im Main-Focus wird sein. Und Columbina wird wahrscheinlich für die restlichen 3 Acts dann, wenn es dem üblichen Rhythmus nachgeht, sehr wichtig sein. Und Zendrone wahrscheinlich schon immer signifikant weniger. Lied von dem Weltkin-Mond. Noch etwas? Ich glaube nicht mehr, ne? Oh boy. Und am 10. September kommt das. Okay. Das wird was. Ich bin wirklich sehr gespannt. Also ich glaube jetzt zumal, allein von den Cutscenes, die wir gesehen haben, die Story wird sich sehr, sehr zuspitzen jetzt in den nächsten Updates. Das wird intensiv. Also ich glaube, da wird's intensiv. Und ich hoffe, ich werde nicht so eine Aussage tätigen wie bei Nutland Story, wo ich sage, ach, es gibt ja fast keine Verluste und dann so 2 Folgen drauf haben wir den Krieg und so 2000 Leute sterben. Und ich bereue alles, was ich gesagt habe, die Folge davor. So, ja, ich glaube, hier werden die Stakes auf jeden Fall higher. Ich bin sehr gespannt dann am 10. September, wenn das Update live geht und wir dann sehen, was Sonic KRAI zu bieten hat. Aber ja, dann danke ich mich für die, wo hier von YouTube reingeschaut haben. Und natürlich auch generell danke ich für die, wo hier im Livestream natürlich sind, ne? Das hat man auch nicht vergessen. Aber ja, dann für die von YouTube. Man sieht sich dann in anderen Tiefen des Internets, ne? Bye, bye. Okay, das hätten wir durch. Sehr gespannt auf dieses Update. Was haben wir jetzt noch? Wir haben das durch. Jetzt glaube ich, von den Sachen, die ich noch schauen wollte, haben wir noch nur noch die Glitch-Sachen übrig, also Glitch Productions. Das heißt, wir haben einerseits den Trailer von von GUINEVERE, voilà. Und ganz andere Sachen eben. Okay. Alright. Okay, das mit Gaslight will ich noch schauen irgendwann. Ich glaube, das mache ich aber nicht heute. Das mache ich, glaube ich, anders. Und Knights of GUINEVERE können wir eigentlich schon on Stream dann schauen, ne? So. Zack, machen wir bereit. Let's go. Okay. Hallo YouTube, willkommen zu einer weiteren Reaktion. Heute mit dem Trailer für Knights of GUINEVERE, oder? Ja, aber richtig gelesen. Eine neue Serie von Glitch Productions, die rauskommen wird, wo wir live jetzt mal auf den Trailer auch reagieren und dementsprechend jetzt aber auf YouTube natürlich noch haben. Aber ansonsten werden wir wahrscheinlich die Serie an sich wahrscheinlich größtenteils auf YouTube schauen und nicht mehr on Stream. Nur damit ihr es Bescheid weißt. Alle hier on Stream und auf YouTube. Und ich bin sehr gespannt. Hab keine Ahnung, es gab mal vor ein paar Monaten, glaube ich, so einen kleinen Teaser von der Serie. Da haben wir für eine Zeit nichts mehr gehört. Dann ist ja jetzt Gaslight District rausgekommen. Und jetzt haben wir halt diese Serie, die jetzt am 19. September seine erste Folge, glaube ich, bekommt. Beziehungsweise den Piloten. Und ich würde sagen, wir schauen da noch direkt rein, was das hier wird. Glitch Presents Knights of GUINEVERE.
Once upon a time, and this was a very long time ago indeed, there was a princess, trapped in a tall, tall tower, and locked away by complicated machines that ran on blood and fear.
Ultra-Killer,
Will
was nicht.
she ever escape?
Oh boy, sie dreht durch, oder
Will
was?
she ever find her knights?
Ui. Vom Glitch and dann, der hat John Bay Owen sagt mal, ui. Das sieht cool aus. Cyberpunk-mäßig? Also, es gibt ein bisschen so den Cyberpunk-Style. So mit Robotern und alles. Oh, was zum Teufel?
Oh, why hello. Didn't notice you there. I'm closer.
Wer bist denn du?
Very good friends of mine.
Ich weiß nicht, ob ich dir vertrauen soll. Okay. Ach du Scheiße. Okay, das wird eine darke Serie anscheinend. Holy shit. Uiuiui. Alter, Dings. Allein das Bild unten rechts ist schon genug Nightmare Fuel. Ach du Scheiße. September 19 eben. Ja, am 19. September. Okay, da bin ich actually. Wake Up stand da gerade. Da bin ich sehr gespannt. Okay, das wird interesting. Ich weiß nicht, was ich erwarten habe, aber ich glaube, der Schockfaktor wird sehr, sehr hoch sein. Und wahrscheinlich wird man sich oft erschrecken, weil manchmal verdammt der Screen so aufblödet und dann irgendwas auftaucht. Okay, das wird interesting actually. Okay, ich bin sehr gespannt. Also bisher von allen Serien, die wir geschaut haben, von Glitch, war es wirklich kein Mist. Also es war wirklich gut. Und die werden auch mit pro Serie immer besser, wirklich. Also die Teams hinten dran und alles. Also ich bin sehr, sehr gespannt, was das hier zu bieten hat. Und irgendwann werden wir auch halt auch auf Gaslight District reagieren. Und ja, ich bin sehr gespannt. Aber ja, dann danke für die von YouTube, dass sie reingeschaut haben. Man sieht sich dann wahrscheinlich auf YouTube wieder. Dafür werden wir die erste Folge dann schauen. So Ende September oder irgendwas so wahrscheinlich rum. Ja, ich bin sehr gespannt. Also dann danke ich euch fürs Zuschauen. Man sieht sich dann tief ins Internet. Und habt einen schönen Tag. Dafür so ganz zu Ende. So, und back wieder hier. Ihr habt natürlich auch einen schönen Tag hier aus dem Stream. Ne? Vergesst das nicht, ne? Das hätten wir. I guess. Jetzt Trailer von The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 6. Und dann geht der Zirkus richtig los. Versteht ihr? Weil. Okay, halt die Fresse. Und deswegen bin ich froh, dass manche Sachen nicht in YouTube-Aufnahmen sind, mit so schlechten Witzen. Aber apropos YouTube-Aufnahme. Hallo YouTube, willkommen zu einer weiteren Action. Ich glaube, ihr hört diesen Satz wahrscheinlich in letzter Zeit ein bisschen oft, weil ich gerade so Dings im Stream 7-mal schon gesagt habe. Ach du Scheiße. Wir werden reagieren heute auf den Trailer für Episode 6 von The Amazing Digital Episode 6. Ich habe gerade komplett einen Zungenbrecher fast gemacht. Und ja, verlieren wir auch nicht so viel Zeit. Schauen wir rein, was uns so erwartet. Ich weiß, es hat mit Waffen zu tun. Männlich. Voilà, genau das. Was zum... Screams in America. Was zum... Ich hab das als Joke gesagt. Oh boy. Oh boy. Nee.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is really what we need right now.
Au. Team Pew Pew, Team Unmask und Team Bad Guys. 33 Minuten. Nope.
Shows is really hard when you have a cast this big.
Wie Meta auf einmal.
Who is that?
Who am I? Well, I'm Mr. Gunn.
Not you, Mr. Gunn, the other voice.
Oh, Kinga hat actually außerhalb... Okay, das ist weird. King habe ich das actually mitbekommen.
Mr. Who?
I was supposed to be in this episode, but Kane removed me for being too done.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Are we just all in this trailer?
And I'm still here too, the
Episode 3 Trailer? What the fuck?
Episode 3 trailer narrator.
Why do these trailers have their own continuity?
Ja, weird.
What are you waiting for? Buy your tickets today and come down to the biggest event in digital circus history.
Wie viel? 20.000?
Be there or be rare.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I wish guns were real.
Kane, what the fuck? What do you mean? Die Waffen sind nicht real. Haben wir gerade Konfirmation bekommen, dass es keine Waffen gibt, I guess, in deren Universum an sich, oder wie? Oh, was zum Teufel. Okay, das wird eine wilde Episode, zumal dass sie die längste bisher ist, Alter. 33 Minuten. Das wird was. Da bin ich sehr gespannt, weil darauf werden wir auch jetzt wahrscheinlich direkt nach nach diesem Video reagieren. Also das wird wahrscheinlich als nächstes Video sogar online gehen hier auf dem Reacts-Channel. Aber ja, aber Reacts-Channel, das war's dann für euch hier auf YouTube. Ich hoffe, hat das Trailer gefallen. Wieder so ein kleines Mini-Video. Und ich bin sehr gespannt, was das jetzt für ein Chaos wird. Aber ansonsten sieht man sich in die Tiefe des Internets. Bye, bye! Okay. Letzte Reaction für heute. Aber auch wieder ein etwas längeres Video. Jetzt hatten wir ganz viele kleine Sachen. Jetzt geht's in die große Sache. Wieder mal. Also, war nicht so groß als wie das erste Video natürlich. Aber trotzdem. Let's fucking do this. Dann mache ich schon bereit. Yes, okay. Es hat 70 Millionen Views schon. Holy shit, okay. Das wird eine Folge. Also dann. Hallo YouTube, willkommen zu einer weiteren Reaktion. Und zwar heute zu der Amazing Digital Circus Episode 6. Ich bin sehr hyped. Es geht um Waffen. Chaotisch. 33 Minuten, die längste Episode ever bisher. Ich bin sehr gespannt, was das Team so zusammengestellt hat. Also Gooseworks sowie einerseits natürlich wie Glitch Productions dabei geholfen. Einfach generell, was sie jetzt angestellt haben in dieser Folge. Und ich würde sagen, legen wir hier los. Okay, alright.
Today's adventure is brought to you by the Favorite Character Award.
Okay. Ah, stimmt. Kontext, es gab zwischen dieser und letzter Folge ein riesen Event so, wo man auf einer Webseite konnte abstimmen, wer der Lieblingscharakter ist. Und mit der Zeit ist Kane immer mehr durchgedreht, weil er ziemlich low gewotet wurde. Und du musstest wirklich oft sagen, bist du sicher, bist du sicher, bist du sicher. Es war wirklich insane.
And find out who will claim the ultimate prize.
Was ist der Preis, ist die Frage.
Can you toss that back up here?
Weil die Animation sieht noch viel besser jetzt aus.
What are you doing up there?
I'm hiding from Kane. I think I overheard him talking to Bubble about an in-house adventure.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna be part of it.
And you're just gonna hang out in a flower pot all day?
Wenn's funktioniert?
Like your room?
Kane's been checking up on my room lately. When I don't answer, he just starts singing Daisy Bell in front of my door. It's creepy.
Oh.
Does he really do that?
I don't know. Let's ask him. Hey, Kane!
You fucking asshole!
Yes, Jax?
Wie er mit der T-Pose angeflogen kommt. Was ist das?
It's Zubul!
You!
Ah, there you are. Now I don't have to do the snap summon thing. And I'm glad I found you. We need even numbers, cause today's adventure is a team adventure.
Oh boy.
Beat you guys up at the stage in,
now?
let's say 5.7 minutes.
5.7, okay.
Great.
Yippee.
Didn't even ask him about the singing thing.
The what?
Today's adventure is gonna be a bit of a short one due to the Favorite Character Award.
Okay.
But it'll be a perfect opportunity to showcase your guys' strengths to the press.
This is so heavy.
That's right, Bubble. Seeing you all play bat-ball a few days ago really got me thinking.
Bubble will
we
have
should
a
do
quitch.
our own sporting event, but with cool new sports invented by yours truly.
Oh, bitte kein Fall.
We
Okay.
don't just play softball normally. This time,
In the cane leagues, we have the 400-meter vertical skedaddle,
Oh boy.
bisection boogie egg
Oh
ball,
boy.
lateral hijinks,
Oh, what the fuck?
sport, ball run, walk
Was geht?
ball, run walk, and ball. These sports are surely going to...
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm not gonna be on a team with that one.
Sybil, why does all you do is complaining? I never know what you want!
We had a whole suggestion box for that.
Yeah, Zubul and I constantly say we like more chill and relaxing adventures.
True.
Did you really not like my softball one?
I'm not big into sports, sorry.
The suggestion box just causes interpersonal drama. And me no likey.
All right, you really want to know what I want?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I want the ability to have sex.
Huh?
No.
Jacks Gesicht. Warte. Was für ein Frame. Das ist safe doch ein Profile-Pick von Leuten zwischen. Was ist das?
No way. Are we finally having this conversation?
Was ist mit dir los? Kane? What the fuck?
Hi, Zubul.
Do you have any
Hat er gerade einen Reset gemacht?
of that stupid sauce left?
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, how teamwork is essential to making the dream work.
Tell that to him. He's the one that fucks everything all the time.
You are in a mood today, aren't you?
Now, you know what they say about assuming. It makes an ass out of you and Ming.
Ming?
Did Kane just say ass?
Hi, I'm Ming, and I really don't appreciate what your assumptions have done to my
Wo kommst du her?
You made a whole guy for that?
Whatever the case, it's evident now that there's quite a bit of tension between you all. So maybe what we actually need to do are trust exercises.
Oh boy.
I'm not falling into Jax's arms, if that's what you mean.
Don't worry, this will be a two-way trust exercise, where you'll each have to trust each other to not betray the other person.
Oh boy.
This is a private room where nobody can see or hear you once inside.
Okay.
And this is a loaded gun.
Was?
Oh boy.
Character A
Pommis Reaktion ist passend. Oh boy.
take the gun into the private room and empty it out of all its ammunition. Then come out and give it to Character B. Character B will then take the gun and shoot themselves in the head, trusting that Character A emptied it in the private room.
Und wenn nicht?
Character A will also have to trust that Character B won't turn the gun on them. So everyone is incentivized to follow the rules and trust each other.
Oh boy.
Sounds a little convoluted.
You look convoluted.
Schon wieder, Alter, der dreht komplett durch.
Jax, why don't you start?
With him?
Wait, what am I doing? I wasn't paying attention.
What the fuck? Okay.
Ah.
Oh. Wer will angerufen haben? Ui. Okay, ich bin gleich zurück. Ich muss kurz noch etwas schauen gehen. Ui, weiter geht's. Ui. Oh mein Gott. Kopfhörer, könnt ihr bitte da bleiben? Danke. Also, back. Also, dann. Entschuldigt die Störung. Weiter geht's. So.
Or, yeah, we could all just shoot each other. Here, have guns. I don't care anymore.
Away! Wait, that's just it? Here's guns and have fun?
I didn't say have fun.
It's just a little aimless.
Use the sights.
Kane!
Ugh, fine! We're bringing teams back. Pair up in teams of 2. You all get 3 lives. Last team surviving is the winner.
Oh Gott.
Not really.
Well, that's not my problem right now. I have an awards show to plan, so you guys are gonna have to handle yourselves for a bit.
Er wird so langsam
I've finished to
aggressiv.
figure the teams out. Once that's up, it's a free-for-all.
Oh boy.
Come on, Sadie. You're coming with me.
I'm actually gonna be on a team with Zubul.
What? No, you're not. We've been together for every team adventure in the past.
Guess times are changing, bunny boy.
Team Unmasked eben. Man.
Hey, you wanna be on my team?
I'd love to, but, well, I really don't want Kinger to get stuck with Jax.
Macht Sinn.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could be on Kinger's team. He and I were together once, and it wasn't too bad.
Auch wahr?
And have me on...
Oh ja, ist auch nicht so gut.
Just forget I asked. I'll be on Jax's team.
Wait!
Like you said, probably good to keep Kinger and Jax separate.
Ja.
I can keep Jax in check, so don't worry about me.
Ist ja wirklich besser, glaube ich.
Hey, Pomni? If you ever need to talk to somebody, or need help with anything, I'm here.
Fühlt sie sich nützlich oder warum sagt sie das? Wo kommst du her?
You have a partner yet?
Well, look who it is. You sure you can handle me in all my glory?
I've been through worse.
Sie wirkt immer mehr confident so langsam.
Zubul, do you want to hold on to this during today's game?
Huh?
I don't really trust myself that much with it. And I also just really want to be able to fire a Tommy gun while laughing maniacally, and I don't want to break it before I get that chance.
I'll keep it safe for you.
Oh boy, das hier wird was. Also jeder hat 3 Leben und es sind halt 3 Teams.
Huh? Wait, what? That counted?
Oh, das ist unfair.
Kane? What? Oh, yeah, the guns have been teleported to random spots in the circus. Go find them, champs!
Er hat keinen Bock mehr, ey.
Wait, Kane! I'm missing a life!
There's no time! It'll be my pleasure murdering all of you!
Oh, das wird insane.
Have fun, guys!
You're so lame!
Keiner hat aufgegeben. Oh. Moment mal. Da sieht man dieses CA-Logo wieder. Ich weiß, es ist kein Enterprise oder irgendetwas so, oder Kane Enable, glaube ich, soll es irgendwie stehen, Theorien zufolge. Ist das der Entstehungsort, in dem sich in dem Amazing Digital Circus befindet? Diesen Computer? Aber es ist weird, dass er ein Foto von draußen dann hat. Achso, das wurde im Computer dann gespeichert. Weird. Wie die einfach da liegen wie GTA, wie geil! Also den älteren Teil, wie geil ist das denn?
You little devil! Alright, now I would bet our biggest concerns would be Jax and Zubul. They're the youngest,
Sicher?
so they probably still have some youthful fighting spirit.
Man, I'm still missing a heart.
Mm.
This isn't fair.
Huh? Oh, I've got just the thing.
Was denn?
Here, take this.
The fuck? Huh?
Well, wait. What did you just do? What was that?
Huh?
It's a butterfly. It can restore your health.
Did Kane mention that?
Oh, nah. I made it up.
Oh, Lu, was machen Sie? Ich reagiere gerade auf das letzte Video von heute. Wir haben Dings auf so 3, 4 Trailer reagiert, wie zum Beispiel der JUJUTSU Kaisen Season 3 Trailer, Genshin und alles so. Und jetzt sind wir halt bei Amazing Digital Circus jetzt angekommen. Und ja, ich bin sehr gespannt. Perfekt. Und was ich jetzt wollte sagen ist, das ist seltsam. Warum kann Kinga die Regeln des Spiels wissen? Ich glaube, ich habe auch von der Theorie mitbekommen, dass Kinga der allererste ja anscheinend im Zirkus gewesen soll sein. Und ich habe eine gehört, die Theorie aufgestellt hat, dass Kinga den Zirkus erstellt hat, für in irgendeiner Art und Form seine Frau am Leben zu erhalten. Und aber am Ende ist er irgendwie gefangen worden in seinem eigenen, I guess, Heiligtum für seine, also nicht Heiligtum, aber Ruhestätte für seine Frau. Aber ja, die haben meine Message bei mir noch mal nicht gesehen. Oh, was für eine Message? Hey. Was meinst du? Also wie immer, oder wie? Oder was meinst du? Nein, ich meine die Mail. Ah, die haben ein Message bei mir noch mal nicht gesehen. Ich meine die Mail und nicht. Ah, okay. Ich hab's falsch gelesen, deswegen auch falsch interpretiert. Okay. War irgendwann, das ist hier mal wahrscheinlich ein busy Schedule wahrscheinlich. So, weiter geht's.
What?
Okay. Suchen die Waffen. Da ist einer.
So, who are you gonna kill first, Pom-Pom?
I don't know if I'll really be doing much of the killing. I'll just find guns for you, and you can do all the violent stuff.
Okay.
Like that, right?
You know none of this is real, right?
What do you mean? Like the circus?
Yeah.
The game today is literally to shoot each other. So what's the point
Spiel.
of taking this moral high ground?
Well, they're my friends. I don't really want to hurt them.
Spürt der was Schmerz, ist die Frage?
All right, let me be real here. Why do you care about that?
About not hurting my friends?
Look, I know what it's like. One day you're somebody in the real world doing important things, and then the next you're just a weird little cartoon
Rabbit.
jester.
Okay, just
You want to hold on to that part of you that still thinks it's part of that world, but in the end, what does it get you? Ragatha tries to be all nice and friendly, but she gets torn up every other adventure. Whether we like it or not,
yeah.
All we are now is a bunch of cartoon characters.
Damn.
So what's the point of pretending we're not?
We're still people, though, right?
I thought we were at first, but as time goes on, we just end up falling into our archetypes. Become part of the machine.
What's your archetype, then?
An asshole?
Listen, I add a key dynamic. I see how far I can push things. I screw with people, and I break the fourth wall.
Hello.
You want to know why? It's 'cause it's funny. I do everything 'cause it's funny. 'Cause I'm the funny one.
Ich glaube, der copt ein bisschen gerade.
Yeah. Ragatha's the cheerful one, Gangle's the sad one, Kinger's the crazy one, Zubal's the grumpy one, and you are the one who hasn't figured that out yet. We all just became archetypes. I at least have the self-awareness to choose who I am.
The funny one.
So who do you want to be? No better chance than now to try something new.
Bin ich
You
mal
wanna go
gespannt.
nuts? You want to finally work off those weeks of rage and anguish that have been building up inside you? I know you hate it here. Everyone does. But the silver lining is you can pretty much do whatever you want. Like, look at the way you're aiming that gun. Too realistic. Just let loose.
God damn, okay.
What the heck? Today, I'm just gonna be evil.
Oh, die Zähne.
Go for it.
Ein bisschen wie bei E-Mail, Pomni.
Yeah, those other fools better watch their tails, because they're going to face the wrath of Pomni the Evil!
Die Zähne.
Kinda cringe.
Bitte schieß ihn ab. Oh, das wäre so witzig gewesen. Jetzt so weg.
Are we really gonna be shooting each other with these?
It's either shoot or get shot.
What?
Ragatha! There's a sniper around this corner.
No shit, Sherlock.
I think I got Kinger.
Damn.
Are you sure we're safe up here?
Das sind wahrscheinlich... Oh, damn.
Tactical roll!
Dodge roll!
Come on, Agatha.
Looks like we've located the king and the ragdoll.
Yeah.
Interesting, wie auf der Waffe Cain und Abel eingegraviert ist. Das, glaube ich, bestätigt, dass dieses C und A-Logo, glaube ich, wirklich für Cain und Abel soll stehen. By the way, also ich bin nicht so viel in von Religionen wissen, also ich weiß nicht viel, aber Cain und Abel sind doch die zwei Brüder, wo Cain ja seinen Bruder umbringt. Ich glaube, das sind sogar die allerersten zwei Brüder, ne? Also die ersten zwei Kinder von Adam und Eve, wenn ich richtig liege. Und Cain bringt, ich weiß nicht warum, Dings halt Abel um. Und es ist halt interessant, dass Dings Cain halt dann heißt. Was würde vielleicht darauf hindeuten, dass irgendjemand mal gab, der vielleicht Abel hieß und starb.
I don't even really know how to fire a gun. I don't know how much use I'd be in.
Ui!
Whoops, did I do that?
You missed a spot.
Damn!
So cool.
Agatha, take cover!
I'll take Rags, you go Kinger.
Rightio, evil bro.
Evil Bro. Jetzt macht Sinn, warum im Trailer stand, dass sie da Bad Guys als Teamnamen haben. Da ist ein. Was?
Come on, man.
Ui! Der Ragify ist fast down.
Kinger, really use another one of those butterflies.
Howdy, howdy.
I know exactly what you're doing with Pomni, and it'll never work.
Huh?
You know, getting close with Pomni to corrupt her.
Nee, glaub nicht, oder?
Wait, no, wait.
Was? I mean, sie sind im Cartoon, er hat's selber gesagt.
I didn't actually think that'd work.
Oh, Alter. Das hat ihn wütend. Das hat irgendeinen Nerv getroffen. Loser Corner.
Oh. I lost Kinger, but I got him down to one life.
I lost a life, but I got us down to one Kinger.
How'd you let her take a life off you?
I don't really know.
Okay. Noch Kinger und sie beiden.
Hey, I found this AK thing. If we can't find the Tommy gun, will this work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think Jax is gonna be mad that I didn't team up with him?
I wouldn't worry about him right now. It's all just a game in the end.
It's Jax, though. He probably wants revenge. And he's gonna make it painful.
Hey, you deserve better than thinking about him when he's not even here. You're a human. You're not his toy.
It sometimes doesn't feel that way.
These avatar gimmicks, huh? Makes you wonder why no one else got them.
I just wish that... How are you supposed to like the part of yourself that just makes you worse than everyone else?
Die guy jetzt zeigt, Nick, what the fuck?
'Cause it exists. It's a part of you that's real. And the only you that you should care about is the real you. You have to choose to love yourself, even if it doesn't make sense. It's not natural, it's intentional.
No, und die Reflexion ist so gut.
You ever had to make that choice?
Wahrscheinlich schon.
Sorry, I mean... of course not. You're Zubel.
Ich glaube doch, sie hat die Entscheidung getroffen.
Whatever happens, I've got your back if you've got mine.
Yeah. Now let's go kill Pomni and Jax.
Was für ein Wort. Alter.
Here's one. What's with the corn thing?
Stimmt, hat ja Angst.
Why are you afraid of corn? And don't say that you're not. You literally jumped out of your seat twice when you saw some.
Wohl wahr.
Not gonna let me out of this one. Well, I don't know. It's got a bunch of little
Was
pods
lachst du
on
denn
it.
jetzt, Nick?
Looks kind of like an egg sac or something. It's gross. Makes my skin crawl.
Interesting. Do you have like a type of trypophobia?
Trypophobia?
The fear of lots of little holes.
Oh.
Okay.
Ja, okay, da haben wir es.
How about pomegranates?
Awful.
I'm learning a lot about you today.
Okay.
Let's not forget we're here to kill people. We still need to find out where Nutso went before we can rest easy.
I'm right behind you, aren't I?
I'm right behind Sean. Oh, er ist ausgewichen. Wegen Now Let's Kill, I don't know, und Jax habe ich den Namen vom anderen vergessen. Du meinst Dings Pomni? Also den Jester da. Kipiu! Ja, okay. Ah ja, was ist das für Manöver? Au! Alter, der weicht richtig gut an. Bitte trifft sich das selber, bitte trifft sich das selber, bitte trifft sich. Holy shit!
Oh, here's the light.
Er hat sich selber getroffen, es war so klar.
High five!
What a game. Who knew Pomni could be such a sharpshooter? These adventures, huh?
Megaphone?
And look, even though we lost, at least we gave it our all, right? You feeling all right?
Nicht wirklich.
Are you upset that we lost? Are you upset about something else?
Sie nickt
You
nur.
want to talk about it?
I think I might have failed Pomni,
Wie denn?
just like I failed Jax. I try too hard to get on their good side, and then I just end up pushing them away. And then they end up hating me.
Well, I don't think anyone in here hates you.
Jax does! Gangle and Subal don't ever talk to me, and Pomni probably won't after today either.
Ich weiß nicht. Also, Jax ist sehr komplex. Das ist ein Arschloch, aber ich frage mich warum. Irgendetwas ist passiert, dass er ein Arschloch wurde, aber warum auch immer. Wahrscheinlich als Verteidigungsmechanismus, für das keiner zu nah an ihm reinkommt. Pomni hasst definitiv nicht, Megaphone King auch nicht und Subal und Gangle auch nicht.
She came to me wanting to be on my team. I said no. Oh, why did I do that?
Maybe you just needed a break. It sounds to me like you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be there for everyone. When you're not, you beat yourself up for it. You said you failed Pomni.
Das ist schon eine krasse Wort.
Why do you feel that way?
I don't know. I feel like every day we're drifting further apart. Like she's seen through all my tricks and doesn't trust me anymore. Before I know it, she'll be a different person. One who doesn't even want me around.
The way I see it, relationships are two-sided. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to do all the heavy lifting when the other isn't in the mood. We all go through and deal with things differently. And sometimes you just need to let people do things their own way.
Wie Pomni
As
gerade
long
eben.
as you're still there when they need you. Giving someone space should never be the same as giving up on them.
I don't even know what I want.
I mean,
I
das...
just want everyone to be happy. And I don't want people to hate me.
Do you hate yourself?
Ja.
I hated myself. I couldn't help but hate myself for the things I thought I was responsible for. I thought I'd lost everything.
Wahrscheinlich nach dem Tod seiner Frau.
You showed up. And my outlook just changed. There are always ways to show you care without ruining yourself over it. You need to look out for yourself in all this too.
Ja, am Ende des Tages bist du auch eine Person.
I don't get it. So often nothing you say makes any sense, but then you have these moments where
Der Kinga ist wirklich...
I don't know. How do you do that? How have you been around for so long?
I guess I just have a resilient mind.
Oh?
Breathtaking! The committee's gonna love that.
Welches Committee? Hä, what the fuck?
Are they still following us?
Are you still following us?
Yeah, we're still following you.
Where else would we be? You're still following us.
I guess die haben wenigstens geantwortet.
Right, this is a long one. We're gonna have to run. Let's go! Ha!
Ich bin mal gespannt, welche der zwei Teams gewinnen wird.
Unlucky with the drops here.
Tommy Gun? Ja, da ist sie.
Why'd you stop shooting? You out of ammo?
Oh oh.
Why'd you stop? You out of ammo?
Pomni, got any ammo left?
I have one in the cylinder and one sniper round, but no sniper rifle.
Ah, crap. Oh boy. Wie sie marschiert. Oh oh. Au. Sniper. Haben sie sich gerade gleichzeitig getroffen? Boah, ein Headshot. Okay, Dings ist auch komplett down, das heißt nur noch Subel.
Just gonna hide in your room?
Oh oh, okay, was macht sie jetzt?
Huh.
Oh oh.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer.
Are you seriously gonna start singing that?
I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
Oh nein, was hat sie jetzt gefunden? Bitte nicht eine Bazooka oder so. Nein, Tommy Gun.
I can't afford a carriage,
Alter.
you'll look sweet upon the sea.
Die zwei genießen sich gerade sehr.
Oh wait, I have a key to Zubel's room.
Seit wann? Jesus. Ach du Scheiße. Okay. Ja, ich wollte gerade sagen, 2 Leben mindestens weg.
I can get him.
Wait!
Trust me, partner, I got this.
Sie hat noch diesen einen Shot in dem Zylinder, ne? Damn! Yep. Oh, Kaufmo. Und diese Person. Warum ist das eine wichtige Person für Jax? Es wird immer mehr Fokus in den letzten Folgen auf sie, auf diese Person. Holy shit, okay, was ist denn jetzt los? No shot. Wirklich? Als ob. Diese Gesichter.
Guess that's the end of that.
Ja.
See you on the flip side.
Vierfacher Fänger. Piu. Alter, was ein Team.
What?
Warum? Warte, was war das gerade? Warum seid ihr alle Katzen? Was ist passiert? Von einem seriösen Gespräch zwischen Raghafa und Kinga zu das hier. Was ist passiert?
What?
Ja, wirklich, was?
We did it! We make such a good team.
Halt wirklich. Oh ja, Affection passt ihm nicht.
Well, to be fair, our competition wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, true.
Ja, ich habe immer mehr das Gefühl, er ist ein Arschloch, weil er nicht will, dass irgendjemand ihm zu nahe kommt, weil irgendwas schon schiefgegangen ist. Safe. Warum
I
nie?
suppose this is the part where one of us betrays the other.
Oh no.
Huh? Oh, yeah, you can betray me.
Huh?
I thought this was gonna be a mutual thing.
Nah, go on, do it.
Pew?
I don't really want to.
Lame! Come on, I thought you were cool.
we could just be winners.
Zusammen.
As a team.
We're not a team, come on.
What do you mean? Yes, we are.
Delusional.
Weren't we kind of bonding over being chaotic evil together?
I was merely entertaining you because I thought it was funny. Now are you gonna shoot me or what?
Did I do something wrong?
You sound like Ragatha right now. No wonder we're not a team.
No, I mean, we were doing fine, having fun, talking. But you suddenly
You're not committing. Do it.
Huh.
If I shoot you right now, are we still gonna be friends afterwards?
We were never friends.
What about all that stuff you told?
Okay. So,
We're gonna be
weiter hier.
friends afterwards?
We were never friends.
Hi.
What about all that stuff you told me?
Yeah, I did tell you a lot, didn't I? Not looking forward to thinking about that tomorrow.
No, we're not doing this. You're not gonna look me in the eye and tell me nothing we've been doing together meant anything to you, because I know that's not true.
Und da liegt sie, glaube ich, auch richtig.
Are you coming on to me? Yeah, that's what everybody wants. A straight couple.
Oh my god, can you take this seriously? Can you take anything seriously?
Dude, you're a cartoon clown. How am I supposed to take you seriously?
You reached out to me, not the other way around. You're just gonna pretend that didn't happen?
You must be misremembering.
Is this why you didn't show up to Kaufmo's funeral?
I don't show up to any funerals.
Yeah, I bet you don't. Because you're scared. You're scared you'll actually show a human emotion.
I'm scared I'll be bored to tears.
Have you ever thought that this might be what causes people to abstract in the first place?
Oh my god! Are you seriously gonna blame me for something that everybody else did too? You didn't even know him. You don't even know what people are like before they abstract. They are not pleasant to be around. Like at all. You...
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you are.
Hmm.
Oh, man. This is all sorts of embarrassing, huh? So, you're gonna shoot me or what?
What would you do if I abstracted tomorrow?
Oh.
I'd move on. And probably forget about you.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
Ist sie sich selber erschießen?
Jeez, you really can't take a joke, can you?
You're not the funny one!
I don't think that counts.
Oh boy.
Hey, what are you doing?
Ay.
Fight back!
Are you crazy?
I said fight back!
Stop! What's wrong with you?
Why didn't you fight back?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Because I didn't fight back, that means I secretly care about you?
Wahrscheinlich schon, ja.
I'm just a misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not. I do not care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer. I'm the one who causes pain for fun. If I led you on, it was just to make this part hurt you more. There's nothing more to me.
Doch.
So please, just stop looking.
Und hat selbst die Hoffnung an sich aufgegeben. Kannst du sehen. Oh, Favorite Character Awards. Oh, was passiert jetzt? Mit dem extremsten Fokus auf Jax in letzter Zeit. Ich habe Angst, dass er actually der nächste auch ist, der extracted.
Hey, I have something You can speak first.
Let's talk after the show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, jetzt wie die ganzen Holzfiguren da sind fast. Okay, jetzt bin ich mal gespannt, was hier rauskommt.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Favorite Character Awards! Before anything starts, I'd like to thank the committee for examining our nominees and voting on our winners. Shut up. But what's an award show without honorable mentions and subcategories? That's
Er ist
right,
nervös.
it's bad.
Oh, jetzt gehen wir hinter die Maske. Jax, was ist los? Oh nein. Scheiße.
God, you look stupid.
Kinger? Oder eine Holzfigur? Disappearing Guy und
And the
tschüss.
award for biggest sailor mouth goes to Zubul.
Was ist da passiert? Shut up, you little pigs. Irgendwas stimmt nicht.
All right, folks, it's now the moment you've all been waiting for. The award for favorite character.
Wenn der Jax announced, habe ich ein ganz schlechtes Gefühl.
And the award for favorite character goes to... Why, it's me, everyone!
Eigentlich war es Pomni im richtigen Wort.
Wait, I misread that.
Pomni, oder?
It's Ming.
Schon wieder Ming?
You shouldn't have assumed you won the award. Now we both look foolish.
Goddammit, haben wir actually den Joke jetzt zurückgebracht für das. Da endet die Episode? Okay, wir hatten sehr viel Witziges und Dummes, aber wir hatten sehr viel ernste Momente dabei. Und ich habe Sorgen um Jax. Zumal die CD im Badezimmer gerade, das sah nicht gut aus. Ming, sehr sympathisch, ja. Ich mach mir Sorgen um den. Das sieht nicht gut aus. Haben wir vielleicht eine After-Credit, so eine After-Credits? Wir haben noch 30 Sekunden. Das war doch, glaube ich, nie so, oder? Ich bin suspekt. Kommt da was? Warum haben wir noch 20 Sekunden?
Alrighty. Now, let's see how many of them voted for me.
Kaum welche. Blau und Rot. Oh, scheiße, das sieht nicht gut aus. Was ist es, glaube ich, bis zu 8 Folgen oder so wird das Ding haben. Ne? Das heißt, wir haben nur noch 2 Folgen. Die nächsten 2 Folgen werden übel. Das wird übel. Scheiße. Wir haben Kane, der immer mehr ausglitscht. Irgendwie so komische Resets auch hat. Wir haben Jax, der ziemlich nah an einem Abstracten ist, wie es aussieht. Wir haben wahrscheinlich auch irgendwie einen Ausfall vielleicht zwischen Ragafer und Pomni, wenn es viel zu ernst wird an ein paar Stellen. Ich weiß es nicht. Oh, das sieht nicht gut aus. Aber wenigstens zwischen Zubul, Kinger. Generell, Kinger hat zu jedem fast eine gute Verbindung. Das geht wenigstens. Zubul und Gangle kommen gut miteinander aus. Zubul habe ich einfach nur Angst wegen, wie Kane gerade explodieren ist immer mehr als gegenüber von ihr. Das wird was. Aber das sehen wir in der nächsten Folge von The Amazing Digital Circus, ey. Ich habe nur Sorge, dass das die nächste Folge nicht amazing wird im Sinn von das Wohlhaben der Charaktere. Aber das werden wir dann sehen. Also dann danke schon die für das hier on YouTube nachgeschaut haben. Und ja, man sieht es dann da in anderen Tiefen des Internets. Bye bye. Und ansonsten, ich glaube, das war's dann auch für heute, ne? Wir haben jetzt auf vieles reagiert, wirklich. Wir haben auf dieses 1,5 Stunden langes Video von Hollow Knight Lore reagiert, haben auf den Jujutsu Kaisen Trailer reagiert, auf den noch einmal auf den Jujutsu Kaisen Trailer, genau, auf den Genshin Trailer reagiert. Wir haben auf den Knights of GUINEVERE Trailer reagiert, also die neue Serie von Lich eben, wo demnächst rauskommt. Dann auf den Trailer für Episode 6 eben von Amazing Digital Circus. Und dann haben wir halt noch Amazing Digital Circus geschaut. Ich glaube, das war alles, was wir uns angeschaut haben heute. War auf jeden Fall sehr leid. Wo hilft mir? Auf Victors Channel. Die eine legendäre Folge da. Oh je. Was ist denn das? Wahrscheinlich eine Rick oder so, wie ich dich kenne. Es wird die Folge. Hühnchen mit Reis. Oh je. Okay. Ich bin gerade überlegen, gibt es noch etwas zu sagen? Nein, ich habe aber auf jeden Fall ordentlich ein paar Reactions zu editieren dann nach diesem Stream. Und ja, es hat mir aber Spaß gemacht, auf ein paar Sachen zu reagieren. War wirklich sehr gechillt, weil es nach den ganzen Tagen Pantheon 5, die letzten Streams, das hat gut getan, einfach mal ganz gechillt ein paar Sachen anzuschauen. Auch wenn ich zum Beispiel bei Sachen wie Genshin und jetzt hier bei bei The Amazing Digital Circus ein bisschen Sorgen haben, um die Charaktere, was ablaufen wird. Da habe ich wirklich meine Sorgen, dass da was schief geht. Und ja, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna let you besser getroffen als, ich weiß nicht, keine Ahnung, deine Mutter, ich weiß nicht. Aber ja, ich bin überlegen, gibt es irgendetwas Bestimmtes, was ich sagen soll? Ich glaube nicht wirklich, also das war's mit dem heutigen Stream, war sehr, sehr nice. Schön 3 Stunden hier schon. Werden morgen mit Silksong anlegen. Morgen wird etwas später wie sonst anfangen, jetzt die letzten Tage. Sonst haben wir ja wirklich schon meistens so früh nachmittags oder halt sogar morgens schon gestreamt. Morgen wahrscheinlich erst ab so 16 Uhr ungefähr. Keine Ahnung, hängt davon noch, ob Steam crasht oder nicht. Morgen mit dem Silksong released. Das ist die Frage. Ich gehe jetzt in Fortnite leiden. Ja, das ist sicher. Wir werden safe leiden. Also ja, dann sieht man sich dann morgen so gegen 16 Uhr rum für Silksong hoffentlich. Ohne technische Schwierigkeiten wegen dem Massive Besuch an dem Game und alles. Und ja, dann sieht man sich dann in tiefen Sinne. Also dann danke ich an Nick fürs dabei sein. Sonst war im Chat jetzt keiner jetzt direkt aktiv, aber sonst natürlich an jegliche andere Person noch, die reingeschaut hat oder reingelögt hat. Und man sieht sich dann in tiefen des Internets wieder. Vielen Dank fürs dabei sein. Also dann, bye bye. Warte, da ist das Stream beenden worden. Bye bye.